Chapter 31:19. The Heaven Secret sect also has many Heaven Secret spies lurking outside the Peacock Treasure Land to record all kinds of battles. If necessary, Qin Yun will let them spread the news and let all the cities in Divine Desolate know about it. This will have a deterrent effect and let the other powerful races know what the consequences of betraying Divine Desolate are. The Golden Claw race has been exterminated, and there are 2 other powerful races whose spies are also paying attention to the Peacock Treasure Land. These 2 traitorous races now know the fate of the Golden Claw race and the destruction of Strange Cat King's million-strong army. They are trembling in fear. Illusory Pupil Race. This powerful race's battle strength is not very high, but their illusory pupil race has a very strong bewitching power. They can make people hallucinate, and at the same time they can control people mentally. The illusory pupil race's contribution in capturing a large number of Divine Desolate people as slaves to the Cat Ears race cannot go unnoticed. The illusory pupil race just found out about the Peacock Treasure Land's battle situation and are discussing how to deal with Qin Yun's revenge. From the moment they betrayed, they knew that as long as Qin Yun does not die, this day will definitely come. They are very clear about the responsibility of the Divine King of Divine Desolate. The illusory pupil race leader said, "How did Qin Yun attack the Golden Claw Treasure Land? The barriers of our treasure lands are very strong." 9 Sun Law Spirit said that even though Qin Yun is a divine king, it will be very difficult for him to enter the treasure land. Maybe 9 Sun Law Spirit lied to us? The illusory pupil race's great elder said, "We can't rely too much on the treasure land's barrier, we need to prepare 2 ways. According to the information I obtained, Qin Yun can enter the Golden Claw Treasure Land because there are spies inside the Golden Claw race. We also need to guard against spies inside the race." The second elder said, "General Meng Kai? This guy has indeed helped Qin Yun a lot. Strange Cat King's army was defeated, this bastard contributed a lot." The illusory pupil race leader said coldly, "Our illusory pupil race doesn't have spies of this level, we don't need to worry. If Qin Yun breaks through our barrier, what should we do? Even though Divine King warriors are not as strong as Tyrant Dragon warriors, they are more than enough to deal with us." The great elder sighed and said. The second elder said, "Don't talk about the past, this was our unanimous decision, we can't blame anyone. If Qin Yun attacks, we'll run. Let's talk about preserving our lives. Yes, there are so many of us from the illusory pupil race. Once all of us escape, it will be difficult for Qin Yun to capture us one by one. In the future, we will spread rumors everywhere to discredit Qin Yun." Clan leader Illusory Eyes said with a sinister smile, "Using our illusory eyes, we can make many people believe us. Then, they can help us spread rumors. It won't be long before godly monarch Qin Yun's reputation is ruined." Ha ha ha! The great elder also laughed. "So what if he's a god king? Our illusory pupil clan can also ruin his reputation. Let's see how this bullshit god king deals with the rumors. When the time comes, with us adding fuel to the fire, there will be a lot of people spreading the rumors. Let's see how many of them he can kill." Just thinking about it made second elder extremely excited. He wanted to immediately take action. Just as the few of them were happily chatting, they suddenly felt several powerful auras surging towards them. Several people suddenly appeared in the spacious secret room they were in. It was Qin Yun, Ba Taiyin, and the other brothers. It's very simple to deal with rumors. Get rid of the source of the rumors in time. Qin Yun said with a smile, "Everyone from the illusory pupil clan, this bullshit god king doesn't have any other abilities, but I can still get rid of the few of you." The illusory pupil clan's upper echelons were dumbfounded. They trembled all over. Although they were all in the 9th tier of the divine space realm, they did not have the strength to fight back against Ba Taiyin and the other brothers. After a moment of panic, they immediately used their illusory eyes. Qin Yun took out the divine mirror of primordial beginning and directly reflected the rays of light shot out by their illusory eyes. Moreover, he also added other powers, causing the upper echelons of the illusory pupil clan to become foolish. Use them to order the other illusory pupil clan members to mine the divine universe goldstone and use them as slaves, Qin Yun said. Qin Yun left Qin Qing to lead 100 divine king soldiers to watch over the illusory pupil clan and the illusory pupil clan leader here. The illusory pupil clan's great elder and second elder were controlled by Qin Yun. They were ordered to lead 3,000 illusory pupil clan members to the treasured land of the Dual Heart clan. The Dual Heart clan was one of the traitors. It was a strong clan that was very good at fighting and was also very rude and unreasonable. Qin Yun wanted to take down the Dual Heart clan more easily and turn them into slaves so that he could mine the treasured land of the Dual Heart clan. At this time, he needed the power of the illusory pupil clan. The illusory pupil clan and the Dual Heart clan were both traitors. They had connections with the Golden Claw clan and the Cat Ears people. At this moment, it was very normal for the illusory pupil clan to head to the Dual Heart clan. Qin Yun led 200 divine king soldiers and blended in with several thousand illusory pupil clan members. Those illusory pupil clan members had their minds controlled. The ones who used the illusory eyes on them were the second elder and great elder. Therefore, they believed that Qin Yun and the divine king soldiers were companions and did not have too many doubt. The illusory pupil clan's great elder and second elder were firmly under Qin Yun's control. Therefore, Qin Yun could rest assured as he loaded them into the heaven-leaping shuttle and headed to the treasured land of the Dual Heart clan. They quickly arrived at the treasured land of the Dual Heart clan and waited outside for the Dual Heart clan members to open the entrance to the treasured land. The Dual Heart clan members had 2 hearts, which meant that they had 2 internal divine universes. Of course, these internal divine universes were very small. When the Dual Heart clan members saw the great elder and second elder leading so many illusory pupil clan members over, they were very surprised. Great elder of the illusory pupil race, what is the matter? The guard at the entrance asked in shock. Don't tell me you don't know that the Golden Claw treasure land has been taken by Qin Yun? The great elder said. Although he was being controlled, no one could tell. This. Of course we know, we just found out. You guys came so quickly. The guard said. Qin Yun's next target is you. We came here to set up a trap to capture Qin Yun. The great elder said, or it should be said that we are here to help you block Qin Yun's attack. Our illusory eyes will definitely be able to take down Qin Yun's divine king army. When the Twin Hearts race learned that the Golden Claw race and Strange Cat King's million-strong army had been wiped out, they were worried that Qin Yun would attack. Now that the illusory pupil race had arrived, they felt much more at ease. This was because they knew that the illusory pupils of the illusory pupil race were truly terrifying. The illusory pupil race and the Dual Heart race had both betrayed the divine wilderness. Now that they were in the same boat, it was normal for them to help each other. Therefore, it would not take long. The higher-ups of the Twin Hearts race arrived. The patriarch and elders of the Twin Hearts race came out one after another. They welcomed the arrival of the illusory pupil race warmly with smiles on their faces. Qin Yun and company had already successfully entered the treasured land of the Twin Hearts race. Next, it was time for the illusory pupil clan members to use their illusory eyes to gradually control all the Dual Heart clan members. Chapter 31:20. Among the Dual Hearts race, there were also people who were not weak. When they discovered that the illusory pupil race was using illusory pupils, they immediately started to resist. However, as soon as they resisted, Ba Tang used his mental energy to make them give up. In the end, the experts of the Twin Hearts race were also controlled. The illusion pupil race's ability was truly terrifying. It was no wonder that they were valued by the cat-eared people. If they could control the illusion pupil race, Then it would be much easier to enslave the other powerful races of the Divine Desolate. Therefore, the cat-eared people took great care of the illusion pupil race. However, the illusory pupil clan was now under Qin Yun's control. After the dual heart race's patriarch and elder were controlled by the illusory pupil race, they gathered all the dual heart race's members and had their minds bewitched by the illusory pupil race. Before long, the duo-hearted ones began to get busy, mining the divine universe goldstones in their treasured land. Qin Yun took down 3 treasure lands. Among them, the Golden Claw treasure land is a very big treasure land. It is also a treasure land that he will use to build his base, so he will not mine it. All he had to do was extract the treasured lands of the Twin Hearts race and the illusory pupil race and transfer the resources from these 2 treasured lands to the Golden Claw treasure land. Qin Yi and 100 divine king warriors stayed behind to guard the Twin Hearts tribe's treasured land. The treasured lands of the illusory pupil and Twin Hearts race were each garrisoned with 100 godly monarch warriors. In that case, Qin Yun could only mobilize 100 godly monarch warriors. This was not enough at all, so he had to develop even more and stronger God King warriors next. Strange Cat King will soon arrive with his fleet. Qin Yun is in a hurry. He must make sufficient preparations to deal with Strange Cat King's fleet. He had to guard against the Crown Prince of Daluo as well. Now that the tyrant dragon warrior had been killed by Qin Yun, the Crown Prince of Origin Luo would definitely make a move. Even if it was not a big move, he would definitely show that he hated Qin Yun. If the Crown Prince of Daluo did nothing, the outside world would think that he was being suppressed by Princess Luo Shu. Qin Yun quickly returned to the Golden Claw treasure ground. According to his estimations, he had obtained at least 2 to 3 million kilograms of divine universe goldstones after killing so many Golden Claw and cat-eared men. However, he had yet to sort them out. Ling Yun-er and Malur were dealing with a large number of cat-eared people's corpses. Fortunately, they both had great strength and could quickly extract the divine universe golden stones from the corpses. Qin Yun still had more than 100 billion divine universe goldstones in hand. The illusory pupil and twin heart races' treasured lands would continue to produce large amounts of divine universe goldstones in the future. It was enough for him to use for a very long time. It feels great to have a mine. Qin Yun felt much more comfortable at this moment. As long as he guarded these treasure lands, he wouldn't need to worry about the divine universe goldstones for a very long time. The Heavenly Law altar was a very large mountain that was tens of thousands of meters tall. It could also be seen as a mountain-like building. The interior was very spacious and had many floors. Inside the Heavenly Law altar, the divine monarch warriors also had very comfortable rooms. Inside the Heavenly Law altar, they could also absorb more energy from the myriad worlds' divine sun and golden claw treasure land. Naturally, Qin Yun is also in the Heavenly Tao altar. The Heaven Secrets Gate also has a very spacious office here. Xian Shazi, contact the Divine Court of the Myriad Realms and ask the Divine Judge to come and talk to me. It's time to rebuild the Divine Court. Qin Yun said. Also, call the Law Enforcement Realm King. The Myriad Realms Divine Court and the Law Enforcement Realm are the orthodox powers of the Divine Desolate. They are responsible for maintaining the order of the Divine Desolate. In the future, when we attack, we must have a good reason. Qin Yun arrived at the Heaven Secrets Gates office and asked Xian Shazi to call the people of the various powers. Qin Yun needs people now, he needs them very, very much. Not only the Myriad Realms Divine Court, Nine Yang Divine Palace and Imperial Heaven Pawnshop will also come. Qin Yun wants to rebuild the Myriad Realms Divine Court and the Law Enforcement Realm. He believes that it is very necessary to guide the great races of the Divine Desolate to evolve and let them be reborn from Nirvana. Of course, the most important thing is the great war launched by Strange Cat King. Strange Cat King's fleet must be very powerful. Qin Yun doesn't have too much confidence, so he has to concentrate his resources. Outside the Golden Claw Treasure Land, Long Shu arrived. Qin Yun personally went out to greet her. Long Shu was originally guarding the lake in the Heavenly Flame Treasure Land because the Monkey King wanted to be reborn from the lake. The little monkey situation is not good, Long Shu hastily said after seeing Qin Yun. Let's go, we will immediately go to the Heavenly Flame Treasure Land. Qin Yun brought along Ba Tain and entered the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. Qin Yun used a black bloodline heavenly rune to let the Monkey King be reborn. It has a certain evil nature. He did this in order to make the Monkey King stronger. Although it would have some evil nature, that kind of evil nature could be suppressed. The lake in the center of the Heavenly Flame Treasure Land is now crazily churning. The black lake water is very black, it is surging with evil energy. Xiao Yun, will the little monkey be all right? Long Shu is somewhat worried. Qin Yun waved his hand. The 9 Sun Dragon altars suddenly floated up. Qin Yun floated in the middle of the 9 Dragon Heavenly Origin formation and took out the Divine King Heavenly Seal. The Divine King Heavenly Seal suddenly became very big, it looked like a small mountain. The seal faced the lake and runes rushed out from the surface of the seal and entered the Black Lake. This is the power of the Taisher bloodline Heavenly Runebok. At the same time, through the Divine King Heavenly Seal, the Monkey King became even stronger. It's coming out. Qin Yun hastily put away the Divine King Heavenly Seal and arrived outside the 9 Dragon Heavenly Origin formation. A huge whirlpool suddenly appeared in the middle of the Black Lake. It is as if all the liquid in the lake is gathering towards the center. Not long after, more than half of the lake's water disappeared. Long Shu and Ba Tain can now sense that a dreadful creature is being born in the center of the lake. Half an hour later, the entire lake dried up. At the bottom of the lake, there is a huge black egg. A crack suddenly appeared on the egg, and a strong white light shined out from the crack. Seeing the white light, Qin Yun felt a lot more relieved. It means that the Monkey King can suppress the evil nature. The egg suddenly exploded and a monkey man covered in white fur appeared. From his appearance, it seems that he is a young boy. The monkey man has long and elegant white hair. The fur on his body is pure white. He looks a bit handsome. He has the appearance of a young and handsome youth. Little monkey! Long Shu very happily shouted. Success! His whole body is made of Divine Universe Heavenly Bone, moreover he is at the 9th level of Divine Universe Realm. Qin Yun said with smile. Then he took out the Divine Mirror of Primal beginning to examine the Monkey King's Divine Universe power. Big brother, big sister. The Monkey King knows that it was Qin Yun who reborn him and made him so strong. He is filled with reverence towards Qin Yun. Little monkey, your current Divine Universe power is 400,000, very good, very good. Qin Yun said with smile. 400,000 Divine Universe power upper limit. This caused Ba Tain to be extremely shocked. Even Qin Yun is somewhat surprised. He did not expect that using the power of a treasure land to create the Monkey King's body would have such a good effect. Chapter 31-21 Fire Tribulation Crazy Race doesn't need their treasure lands lake, that's why they let Qin Yun torment them. But other powerful races won't let Qin Yun do this. Qin Yun wants to use the treasure land to create more and more powerful people, but that won't work. He still has 3 treasure lands he can use: Golden Claw Treasure Land, Illusion Pupil Race and Twin Heart Race's treasure lands. Qin Yun looked at Long Shu. This Queen Long Shu's battle prowess is very high, she is the type that can fight very well. Moreover, Qin Yun wants to nurture her into the new Dragon Emperor of Heavens and let her unify the dragon race. Little monkey, come with us. Qin Yun said, let's go back first. I know you are anxious for revenge, but now is not the time. Qin Yun can sense Monkey King's anger. Although Monkey King is doing his best to suppress it, it still overflowed. Big brother, the enemy is Great Luo Crown Prince, they are very powerful. If I go find them now, I will only be courting death, I won't act recklessly. Monkey King said. Big brother helped me become so powerful with great difficulty, I won't throw my life away like this. Monkey King naturally knows that Qin Yun needs help, so he will do his best to help Qin Yun. You can be so calm, very good, Qin Yun said with gratified smile. After returning to Golden Claw Treasure Land, Qin Yun let Monkey King familiarize himself with the environment and let him find other Divine King warriors to exchange pointers. Golden Claw Treasure Land also has a lake. Qin Yun brought Long Shu to the side of the lake. Long Shu, I can make little monkey so strong, I can also make you as strong, Qin Yun said with smile. Xiao Yun, you are the one who needs to become strong, I will give you the opportunity to enter Golden Claw Treasure Land. Long Shu naturally wants to become strong, but she feels that Qin Yun becoming strong is the most important thing. If it was possible, Qin Yun would definitely do it. But he asked Grand Prime. His cultivation path can only be through Divine King Heavenly Seal. This kind of cultivation method is not suitable for me. Quickly become stronger and unify the dragon race, Qin Yun said with sigh. Dragon race is a very powerful force, they will have a very important position in the coming era. Xiao Yun, didn't you say before that Divine Moon race has a kind of cultivation method? If we can master it, we can cultivate it at the same time and obtain the same benefits? Long Shu asked. Yes. Qin Yun nodded. How about this? I'll master this cultivation technique, and then enter the lake with the Divine Moon clanswoman to become stronger. The lake in the Golden Claw Treasure Ground can at least create a few bodies as strong as the little monkey, Long Shu said. It should be possible. Qin Yun did not think of this. How about this, you use this lake to help a few dragon ladies become stronger at the same time. I want to become the All Heavens Dragon Emperor and I need helpers, Long Shu said. It's not enough to just have the little monkey. Besides, the little monkey is more suitable to follow you. If it's the dragon ladies, Qiaofeng, Yu Qing, Heavenly Concubine, the three of them have entered the Heaven's Fate Dragon Lake before, Qin Yun said. Alright, it's them then. Long Shu knew them back at the Heaven's Fate Dragon Lake. Back then, Qin Yun even got Long Shu to take care of them. I have to contact the Divine Moon Clan and ask them to send someone to bring you to the Divine Moon Clan to learn that cultivation technique, Qin Yun said with a smile. This Sun Moon Heart Sutra can only be learned by women. Men are definitely not allowed to know the details of this cultivation technique. Alright, then when will they send someone over? Long Shu is rather anxious because she hopes to become as strong as the Monkey King before the strange Cat King arrives with his warship. At that time, she will be able to help Qin Yun. They'll be here very soon. I sent people from the Heaven's Secrets sect to deliver the message, Qin Yun said. He needs manpower, especially people from the Nether Sun Pearl. He needs people to deal with those corpses and extract the Divine Universe heavenly bone from them. He can only find Zi Qingqing and Shui Tianzi. They are the ones Qin Yun is most familiar with, and now that they have become his women, it is even easier to deal with them. The people from the Divine Moon Clan arrived very quickly. It is as if they came down from the moon. The Divine Moon Clan has cities in the Four Divine Sun and All Heaven's Divine Moon. Moreover, there is a secret teleportation channel between the All Heaven's Divine Moon and the Four Divine Sunday. What made Qin Yun even more surprised is that Yu Shangyun personally brought Zi Qingqing and Shui Tianzi over. In addition, Luo Yaofeng also came over. Apart from Yu Shangyun, Luo Yaofeng, Zi Qingqing and Shui Tianzi, the four women who slept with Qin Yun, there are also Feng Yu and Shui Yu. They have not slept with him, but they are not outsiders. Yu Shangyun is still the same, her entire body is wrapped in black armor. There's an important matter, let's talk in secret, Yu Shangyun said directly when she saw Qin Yun. And Qin Yun responded. Then, he greeted Luo Yaofeng and the other girls and released the 9-sun sky-raising pagoda. After entering the 9-sun sky-raising pagoda, Yu Shangyun said, "Princess Luo Shu came to find me." When Qin Yun heard this, his brows furrowed. He instinctively told him that this was not a good thing. "Is it to seek your cooperation with her?" Qin Yun asked. "No, she wants us to be loyal to her, and she wants us Divine Moon women to join hands to capture you and hand you over to her," Yu Shangyun said. Qin Yun is rather surprised. He thought that Princess Luo Shu's attitude would be relatively low. He never expected her to have such an attitude. This meant that Princess Luo Shu has a high and mighty attitude. She has a completely disdainful attitude towards the Divine Moon clan. "Yun, what I saw was Princess Luo Shu's clone. She is very beautiful. If you see her, you might fall in love with her. I have never seen a woman as perfect as her. Even if it's just a clone, even if I'm a woman, I can't deny her beauty, not to mention that it's just her clone," Yu Shangyun said. "I don't like her. Don't worry, I won't be bewitched by her." Qin Yun shook his head. He did not know what Yu Shangyun meant. "I think that you should try to get in touch with her and see if there's any way to change her attitude," Yu Shangyun said. Qin Yun was startled. What did the Divine Moon Empress mean? Did she want him to sell his face? "Sister Shangyun, do you know why Princess Luo Shu's clone is so perfect?" Qin Yun suddenly smiled. Then, he took off Yu Shangyun's helmet and stared at her beautiful face that was filled with a strange fragrance. "Why? You've seen her before?" Yu Shangyun asked. "Because she's not real." After saying that, Qin Yun kissed Yu Shangyun. Yu Shangyun did not refuse and hugged Qin Yun tightly. Then, the two of them rolled onto the bed. What Qin Yun and Yu Shangyun did not expect was that Luo Yaofeng would suddenly barge in. Of course, she knew that Qin Yun and Yu Shangyun had something important to discuss. It was regarding Princess Luo Shu. However, she also guessed that when they were discussing important matters, they would definitely kiss. Luo Yaofeng had long known that Qin Yun and Yu Shangyun had a close relationship. Furthermore, he had exposed them in front of Yu Shangyun. When Yu Shangyun was still Tian Shixiang, her relationship with Luo Yaofeng was already very good. In addition, both of them were Qin Yun's women. Therefore, after Yu Shangyun found out that Luo Yaofeng had slept with Qin Yun, she did not mind too much. Chapter 31-22. Qin Yun soaked in the bath. His entire body was about to fall apart, but his mental state was still very good. The two Jiutian goddesses at the side, on the other hand, acted as if nothing had happened. In fact, they seemed even more delicate and beautiful than before. "By the way, didn't you have something important to discuss?" Luo Yaofeng smiled and said, "Let's continue." She usually looked quiet and gentle, or even a little mischievous. But now, she had become very lively, and was constantly teasing the serious big sister Xiang Yun. Yu Shangyun said, Luo, you have also seen Princess Luo Shu. What do you think of her?" Luo Yaofeng was startled, then smiled and said, "Sister Shangyun, your Yun Lang has enough women by his side, do you still think it's not enough?" "Luo, that's not what I meant," Yu Shangyun said seriously. "I mean, what do you think of her clone?" "Perfect. I think Brother Yun will fall madly in love with her." Luo Yaofeng sighed and said, "At that time, Brother Yun will no longer remember us. This is a very crazy beauty. Even I want to conquer her. If she can be with Brother Yun, I don't think I will feel disgusted." Qin Yun swam over and pinched her waist a little harder. He jokingly scolded, Luo, is Brother Yun such a heartless person in your eyes? I know you have a lot of women around you, but most of them were not initiated by you. But I guarantee that Princess Luo Shu will definitely let you take the initiative, and you will even crazily chase after her." Luo Yaofeng laughed and said, "I've always been very good at judging people." When she said these words, she even looked at Yu Shangyun because she knew that Yu Shangyun was with Qin Yun back then. "Let's not talk about this. Princess Luo Shu asked the Divine Moon Clan to swear loyalty to her. Did you refuse? Qin Yun asked. No. She didn't ask us to give an answer immediately. She will give us time to consider. Yu Shangyun said. Yun, why did she ask us to hand you over to her? Luo Yaofeng said. Could it be that this Princess Luo Shu likes our brother Divine King? Yun, you are the Emperor of the Divine Moon Clan. Regarding the matter of loyalty to Princess Luo Shu, I must discuss it with you. Yu Shangyun said again. Qin Yun becoming the Emperor of the Divine Moon Clan was something that all the women of the Divine Moon Clan acknowledged. Furthermore, they did not leak this matter and kept it a secret. Luo Yaofeng looked at Yu Shangyun and asked, Sister Shangyun, what do you think? My Divine Moon Clan's clan emperor is the Divine King. Why should my Divine Moon Clan be loyal to others? Yu Shangyun said. That's right. Our man is the God King. Why should we be loyal to a woman? She should be loyal to us. Luo Yaofeng said. The reason why you think she's perfect is because her mental power is extremely high, and it has an effect on your minds. Qin Yun said. This woman is very dangerous. She used her powerful mind to interfere with your perception of her. This is not a kind action. When Qin Yun heard Yu Shangyun say that Princess Luo Shu's avatar was perfect, he immediately knew that that kind of perfection was not real. It was an illusion, just like the ability of the illusory pupil race. As for the people involved, if they didn't have enough mental power to break through this illusion, they wouldn't be able to discover the strangeness within. When Yu Shangyun and Luo Yaofeng heard this, they frowned slightly. Of course, they knew that this was a bewitching technique. Ling Daixin had grasped a similar technique. Not only could she bewitch men, she could even bewitch women to the point of falling head over heels for her. However, Ling Daixin was not able to bewitch Luo Yaofeng and Yu Shangyun. However, the women who were bewitched by Ling Daixin felt that she was extremely beautiful and unknowingly fell in love with her. This is a very low-level method. Qin Yun said with a smile. I say, you guys are all women. To actually be bewitched by a woman. Are you possessed by Yulan? You even said that I would fall madly in love with her. You guys are underestimating me too much. Yu Shangyun did not say a word. Luo Yaofeng pouted coquettishly before coming to Qin Yun's side and leaning on him. Yun, how can we resist her bewitching technique? Yu Shangyun asked. She thought about it carefully and realized that it was indeed the case. The terrifying thing was that she did not even realize it. Brother Yun, you're still the best. It seems like it will be very difficult to bewitch our brother Yun. Luo Yaofeng said with a smile. In that case, I'm also quite amazing to be able to bewitch brother Yun. Qin Yun laughed and said, I'll make some talismans for you guys to wear on you. It can eliminate a certain amount of influence. Also, it's best not to let the Divine Moon women come into contact with her. As he finished speaking, Qin Yun's expression gradually became solemn. Because he and Yu Shangyun are worried that Princess Luo Shu would plant a spy in the Divine Moon Clan or bewitch the Divine Moon women. Yun, I heard about your recent conflict with Strange Cat King. Is there anything we can do to help? Yu Shangyun asked. Bring Long Shu back, and let her learn the Sun Moon Heart Sutra from Qiaofeng and the other dragon girls. I want to nurture her and make her the new Heaven's Dragon Emperor. Qin Yun said. The Heaven's Dragon Emperor was killed by the Crown Prince of Great Luo. Yu Shangyun and the others already knew about this matter. Brother Yun, is Long Shu our sister? Luo Yaofeng asked. Yes. Qin Yun nodded. All right, I will make arrangements for her. Let her go to the Divine Moon Clan and master the Sun Moon Heart Sutra as soon as possible. Yu Shangyun said. The moment she heard it, she knew that Qin Yun had a very big plan. Luo Yaofeng asked again. Brother Yun, you really don't need the help of the Divine Moon Clan? Qin Yun thought for a moment and said, If possible, try your best to contact the Phoenix Kingdom. Phoenix Queen? Yu Shangyun asked. Yun, what's your plan? You can cooperate with the Phoenix Queen. According to my guess, the Phoenix Queen and Princess Luo Shu might be enemies. Furthermore, the Phoenix Queen's background is not small. There must be a very powerful force supporting her to fight against the great Luo Empire. Qin Yun said, since the Phoenix Kingdom has come to the Divine Desolate, they definitely need the resources of the Divine Desolate. You can use the resources to cooperate with the Phoenix Kingdom. Yu Shangyu nodded and said, I will try my best to contact the Phoenix Kingdom and have them cooperate with us. Qin Yun originally did not want to come into contact with the Phoenix Kingdom, but Princess Luo Shu looked for Yu Shangyun, and even used a very arrogant attitude to make the Divine Moon Clan swear loyalty to her. If the Divine Moon Clan refused, then Princess Luo Shu might use underhanded means to attack the Divine Moon Clan. At this time, he had to look for the Phoenix Kingdom. The Phoenix Queen and Princess Luo Shu had a hostile relationship. Perhaps she would help the Divine Moon Clan. Even if she did not, she would still provide the Divine Moon Clan with information about Princess Luo Shu. Sister Shangyun, you must remember that Princess Luo Shu is the most powerful person in the upper echelons. People like us who were born in the lower echelons, no matter how outstanding we are not people in her eyes. Qin Yun warned. And I understand. Yu Shangyun nodded lightly. Princess Luo Shu believed that if she personally looked for Yu Shangyun and made her entire clan swear loyalty to her, Yu Shangyun would definitely be happy to kneel down and lick her. After all, she was the princess of the great Luo Empire. Not to mention Yu Shangyun, even the experts of the other kingdoms would kneel down and lick her. If Yu Shangyun refused, then Princess Luo Shu's reaction could be imagined. She would definitely take revenge on the Divine Moon Clan. Chapter 31-23. A complete copy update the latest chapter of the Nine Sons Divine King as soon as possible. By capturing General Meng Kai, Qin Yun learned about Crown Prince and Princess Luo Shu's situation. When Crown Prince Dominion Dragon Army was mobilized, Qin Yun knew that Crown Prince Dominion Dragon was trying to rope in the Strange Cat Kingdom. At that time, Qin Yun was still wondering if Princess Luo Shu was also seeking help from others. However, he knew that Princess Luo Shu wanted the Divine Moon Clan to pledge loyalty to her, so he knew that Princess Luo Shu looked down on the Divine Moon Clan. If the other party's attitude was good, they should have discussed how to cooperate instead of asking the other party to directly pledge their loyalty. Furthermore, Princess Luo Shu had used a bewitching technique on Yu Shangyun. This was a very unfriendly display. She wanted to control Yu Shangyun, the Empress of the Divine Moon Clan, through her mind and thus control the Divine Moon Clan. Brother Ayun, if Princess Luo Shu takes revenge on our Divine Moon Clan, what kind of action will she take? Luo Yaofeng asked. She began to worry. After all, Princess Luo Shu was from the Daluo Empire. Furthermore, she was capable of contending against the Crown Prince of Daluo and trying to snatch the position of Daluo's Celestial Emperor. Clearly, she was not a simple woman. If they rejected Princess Luo Shu, she would definitely use any means necessary to force the Divine Moon Clan to submit. Luo, what do you think of the Divine Moon Clan's strength in the Gods Desolate? Qin Yun returned with a question. Not yet. Although we also have quite a number of 9th-tier Divine Space Realm experts, compared to the 9th-tier Divine Space Realm experts of those kingdoms and empires, it's still far from enough. Luo Yaofeng shook his head. Qin Yun looked at Yu Shangyun and asked, Sister Shangyun, you should have already thought of a way out, right? All the women of the Divine Moon race retreat from the Divine Moon of the heavens and into the 4 Divine Suns. Yu Shangyun said, Yun, the 4 Divine Suns are the escape route you left for us. I don't even need to think to know what to do. Qin Yun nodded. As for Granny Taiwe, please inform her that if the ancient Heavenly Moon Clan needs help in the future, the Divine Moon Clan will definitely help. After all, Granny Taiwe has been taking care of you for a long time. Grandma Taihui knows that Princess Luo Shu came to find me. Although she didn't ask why, she should be able to guess. Yu Shangyun said. That means Princess Luo Shu has roped in the heaven-splitting ancient clan. Qin Yun said with a frown. That doesn't make sense. Although the heaven-splitting ancient clan can be established as a kingdom, they are generally very weak. What does Princess Luo Shu see in the heaven-splitting ancient clan? Yu Shangyun asked doubtfully. Our Divine Moon clan is also very weak right now. Why would Princess Luo Shu want us to pledge our loyalty to her? It's mainly because of the 9 Sons Divine Maiden. Luo Yao Feng grunted softly. The Crown Prince of Origin Luo must be cultivating in some evil art. He can only cultivate it through the 9 Yang Divine Maiden. Perhaps Princess Luo Shu wants to control the 9 Yang Divine Maiden so that she can control the myriad worlds' divine sons through them. Luo Yaofeng was once considered a sun goddess above the 9 heavens. She knew a few things. Later on, she had no choice but to be reborn in the gods desolate because of the self-destruction of the 9 heavens. Sky Divine Sunday Yun, is the Phoenix Kingdom reliable? After all, it's a kingdom. Wouldn't they look down on us? Yu Shangyun asked. I don't know, but I heard that the Phoenix Kingdom is different from the other middle and upper class forces. We can try to make contact with them. Qin Yun said. I have also made contact with the middle-tier kingdom's powers. There are also some pretty good ones. For example, the 9 Dragon Kingdom is pretty good, their attitude is very low. Long Jinchuan is about to send 709 dragon warriors over. They are all carefully selected 9th-level divine space realm, and are all given to Qin Yun. Long Jinchuan took the awakening talisman back to test it out. It had a certain effect, but it was not able to completely awaken. If Long Jinchuan's main body could awaken, then Qin Yun's awakening talisman would be very useful. The 9 Dragon Kingdom's king also attached great importance to their cooperation with Qin Yun. That 9 Dragon Kingdom's king even prepared to send a clone to discuss with Qin Yun in secret. The 9 dragon warriors sent by the 9 Dragon Kingdom to support Qin Yun are all men. Of course they also have women, but because women's battle strength is relatively weak, they did not send them. And now, Qin Yun decided to have the 9 Dragon Kingdom send a few more women over and send them all to the Divine Moon Clan. Qin Yun is the Divine Moon Clan's clan emperor. This way he can guarantee the Divine Moon Clan's battle strength. Sister Shangyun, Luo Luo, when you entered the Golden Claw Treasure Land, did you see my Divine King warriors? Qin Yun asked. I saw them, they are really powerful. Luo Yaofeng wanted to ask this for a long time. She hastily asked, did you get them from other universe? The origin of the Divine King warriors is very mysterious because they are not from Great Luo Empire or Huoling Empire. Other spies know that Qin Yun is very close to the 9 Dragon Kingdom, but the 9 Dragon Kingdom does not have such level of warriors. They are warriors sent by the 9 Dragon Kingdom. After being modified and strengthened by me, they became this powerful. I am preparing to have the 9 Dragon Kingdom send a group of female warriors to the Divine Moon Clan. When the time comes, you can receive them, Qin Yun said with smile. Yun, you really don't need our help? Yu Shangyun very much wants to help Qin Yun because Qin Yun has already helped the Divine Moon Clan a lot without asking for anything in return. You guys properly plant tobacco inside the 4 divine sons. In the future, I will need you to plant some other things or make some tools and things like that. Qin Yun paused and then said, also, let Sister Ling Long and the other inscription refining masters research even stronger materials. The mysterious energy inside the 4 divine sons can make all kinds of materials even stronger. Qin Yun took out some Divine Universe heavenly bones and gave them to Yu Shangyun. Give these Divine Universe heavenly bones to them and let them research how to make materials stronger after absorbing the energy of the 4 divine sons. If they don't have any clues, ask Sister Yu Yu who is inside the 4 divine sons. I will personally take charge. I am also an inscription refining master. Yu Shangyun took the divine universe heavenly bones. That's even better. Qin Yun nodded and said, in the upcoming war, I will need a lot of resources. These resources will be stored inside the 4 divine suns. I can't enter the 4 divine suns, so I will need you guys to be responsible for delivering resources to me. Yu Shangyun nodded and said, all right. It seems like the times have changed. There is no need for too many people to personally go into battle. Luo Yaofeng sighed with emotion. Qin Yun previously led a few hundred people to sweep away Strange Cat King's million army. This is not only a manifestation of strength but also of wisdom. It has changed a long time ago. I have a premonition that the divine desolate will further suppress the growth of living beings. Qin Yun felt very conflicted when speaking about this matter. Why? Isn't the goal of the 9 Suns Dharma spirit to make the living beings of the divine desolate into the middle and upper echelons? Yu Shangyun asked. She and Luo Yaofeng are both very surprised by Qin Yun's words. Qin Yun shook his head. That was in the past. Great Luo Empire is in turmoil, and it is possible that the situation of the entire universe is changing. Have you noticed that whether it is Princess Luo Shu or Great Luo Crown Prince, both of them attach great importance to the divine desolate? Yu Shangyun and Luo Yaofeng looked at each other and then nodded slightly. They can feel that the middle and upper echelons attach great importance to the divine desolate. It is as if they are planning to stake everything on the divine desolate. Chapter 31-24. A complete copy update the latest chapter of the 9 Suns Divine King as soon as possible. If the Daluo Empire was only after the resources of the God's wilderness, they wouldn't have given off such a feeling. They could have just sent a large number of people to the God's wilderness to mine the resources. However, they did not do so, as if they had some concerns. Furthermore, with their strength, if the empires and the kingdoms joined forces, they would soon be able to sweep through the divine wilderness and all the powerful races. They did not do so. It was also possible that the 9 Yang Dharma spirit was restricting them. Yun, tell me your deduction. Yu Shangyun, who was in the bath, swam to Qin Yun's side. Just like Luo Yaofeng, she leaned on Qin Yun. Qin Yun hugged Empress Xiang Ro, who was mesmerized by the fragrance, and could not help but feel his heart flutter. On the other side, Luo Yaofeng was also flirting with him. Hugging 2 beauties on his left and right made Qin Yun very happy. According to the information I have, the divine wilderness is still expanding. Originally, Myriad Heaven's divine desolate was already very big, but now it is expanding endlessly. Qin Yun said, what does this mean? Perhaps many of the resources in the universe will be absorbed by the divine wilderness bit by bit, and then turned into a huge piece of land. The Daluo Empire did not impose any restrictions. Luo Yaofeng asked, is the Daluo Empire unable to stop them? Realization dawned on Yu Shangyun. The Origin Celestial Emperor might be dead. Without the Celestial Emperor, the exalted Luo Empire is a pile of loose sand. Moreover, the infighting between the princess and the crown prince won't be able to stop the expansion of the divine wilderness. Yes, the other kingdoms should have also sensed it and know that the divine wilderness will gather large amounts of resources. Therefore, they came early to the divine wilderness to lay down their plans and occupy a plot of land, said Qin Yun. Currently, the strongest power in the divine wasteland is us. If we can lead the various races in the divine wasteland, the kingdoms and empires will find it difficult to pose a threat to us. Luo Yaofeng said. She was not exaggerating, as even the heaven-splitting ancient clan could not compare to Qin Yun's God King army. Most of the powerful races in the myriad realms' divine sun would cooperate with Qin Yun. Although Qin Yun is unable to enter the myriad realms' divine sun or borrow its power, he is still very powerful. The things behind this might be more complicated than I thought. I am waiting for news from Sun Dragon race's side. I asked Elder Ling Yu to help me contact Nine Sun Law Spirit. If Elder Ling Yu comes to find me, it means that Nine Sun Law Spirit will give me instructions. Qin Yun said. Qin Yun has not reached the transcendent level of the Nine Suns Dharma Spirit. At the height of the Nine Suns Dharma Spirit, he can definitely see more. However, as a godly monarch, according to his many years of experience, Qin Yun could tell that there was a storm brewing behind the scenes at all times. Previously, Qin Yun was very tired from being tormented by Yu Shangyun and Luo Yaofeng. After soaking in the bath, he completely recovered. Seeing that Qin Yun had recovered, Luo Yaofeng looked at Qin Yun with a smile. Furthermore, he kept winking at Yu Shangyun, as if he wanted to join forces with Yu Shangyun to bully Qin Yun again. Yu Shangyun lightly glared at Luo Yaofeng before saying gently to Qin Yun, "Yun, rest well. I will definitely complete the task you have entrusted me with." Yeah. Qin Yun couldn't help but kiss the Empress's fragrant lip. After putting on their clothes, Yu Shangyun and Luo Yaofeng left the Nine Sun Heaven-Raising Pagoda and brought Long Shu back to the Four Divine Suns. Feng Yu and Shui Yu only greeted Qin Yun and took a look at the legendary Divine King Warrior before leaving with Yu Shangyun and the others. Zi Qingqing and Shui Tianzi returned to Qin Yun's side. This pair of absolutely charming beauties are also Qin Yun's women. There is no need for Qin Yun to take the initiative. After entering the Nine Sun Heaven-Raising Pagoda, Shui Tianzi, this charming beauty, leaned on his side like a little bird. "Sister Steamed Bun, you've become a lot stronger." Qin Yun giggled as he looked at the noble beauty in front of him, whose entire body is covered in purple clothes. Then, he extended his hand and rubbed her face. "This is all thanks to your bloodline heavenly rune." Zi Qingqing rolled her eyes at Shui Tianzi because Shui Tianzi is currently pulling at her clothes with a coquettish smile on her face. Being able to meet Qin Yun and seeing that Qin Yun is fine, Zi Qingqing is still very happy. Therefore, she allowed Qin Yun to knead her face. Qin Yun and the two beautiful beauties stayed together for more than half a day. Then, he let them enter the Nether Sun Pearl to work. Miller saw that new friends have come in, moreover they are two very beautiful big sisters. She immediately became very happy. She did not work and took out many delicious food to entertain Zi Qingqing and Shui Tianzi. Miller heard about Zi Qingqing and Shui Tianzi from Mo and Yang Yang before. She has wanted to meet these two big sisters for a long time. Qin Yun came out of the Nine Sun Heaven-Raising Pagoda with a face full of happiness. Just as he came out, he received a piece of good news. Long Jinchuan sent over 709 dragon warriors. Moreover, they are the strongest 9th-level divine space realm. They are waiting to be transformed by Qin Yun. Long Jinchuan originally waited for a period of time, but Qin Yun was in the middle of a sweet reunion with two beauties. Long Jinchuan asked Taingba to tell Qin Yun that the next time he comes, he will bring along 9 Dragon Countries monarch's clone. Next, Qin Yun wants to transform those 709 dragon warriors and turn them into divine king warriors. The main thing is to bestow them bloodline heavenly runes. After that, they are lacking equipment. Qin Yun doesn't need to worry about equipment because he already has Dragon Gold Legend. Next time he comes, he will bring it with him. It is their side that will use Divine Universe Heavenly Bones to forge. Long Jinchuan knows that Qin Yun killed 1 million cat ear people and has many Divine Universe Heavenly Bones. He will not owe them anything. After Qin Yun bestowed Bloodline Heavenly Runes to the 709 Dragon Warriors, their Divine Universe power greatly increased. They are very happy. Then they integrated with the original Divine King Warriors and immediately started training. Qin Yun already has 1,000 Divine King Warriors, but it is far from enough. I will let Heaven's Secret Sect contact Myriad Realms Divine Court. Divine Judge will bring people here very soon. Boss Ye will also come when the time comes. Qin Yun needs people with great potential. For example, Xie Wufeng has great potential. Qin Yun plans to let Xie Wufeng enter the Illusion Pupil Race's Central Lake and make him even stronger. If a sword god like Xie Wufeng reaches the peak of 9th level Divine Space Realm, his strength will be very dreadful. And Qin Yun plans to use the Peacock Treasurelands Lake to transform Su Xiaoba. Although Su Xiaoba's disciple is a bit idiotic, he is absolutely violent. Moreover, his potential is also very great. Moreover, he has destruction spirit. From a certain aspect, it can be said that he has learned a part of 9 Sun World Extermination Scripture's profundities without a teacher. Su Xiaoba has also joined Myriad Realm's Divine Court. Although he doesn't have a god position, he has proclaimed himself to be an unparalleled god. Qin Yun sent people to the 4 spirit sons to find Divine Judge. He asked for Su Xiaoba, Xie Wufeng and Shimen Dezhuang as well as Pippi Pig. Shimen Dezhuang and Pippi Pig specialize in dealing with idiots like Tian Daozi. Qin Yun must keep a close eye on Tian Daozi to prevent him from acting recklessly. This guy Tian Daozi doesn't have any other skills, but he is very fast in escaping. This can be considered his consummate skill. Chapter 31-25. Qin Yun is very much looking forward to the arrival of the Divine Judge and the others. Now, Qin Yun's understanding of deity position has deepened. He had discussed it with his old brother Taisher, and they believed that godhood was a type of bloodline heavenly pattern. Bestowing godhood was the same as bestowing bloodline heavenly patterns. However, the godly king heavenly seal had not fused with the grand prime bloodline heavenly pattern in the past, so the god throne power it bestowed was not obvious. The current God King Heaven Seal could bestow 4th-generation bloodline heavenly patterns. At that time, he could strengthen the bloodline heavenly patterns of the gods of the Divine Court of Myriad Realms, making them even more powerful. Qin Yun gradually understood the purpose of the gods. They were mainly used to guide the growth and evolution of all living beings in the divine wilderness, allowing them to become stronger. Of course, this required a very long time and a very stable environment. Now that the divine wilderness was in turmoil, the upper and middle world forces had come to the divine wilderness, causing many unstable factors. In addition, the Myriad Realms' Divine Sun wanted to use the survival of the fittest principle to eliminate the weak races. The Golden Claw Treasure Land had experienced a great battle before, so it was completely destroyed. However, the resources beneath the treasure land were still there, and the cat-eared people hadn't taken anything away. With Zi Qingqing and Shui Tianzi entering the Nether Sun Pearl and controlling many puppets to help collect the Divine Universe Heavenly Bone, their speed became even faster. Qin Yun is frantically making awakening talismans in his secret room so that more people can obtain powerful 4th-generation bloodline heavenly runes. 2 days passed, but the Grand Inquisitor did not return. Logically speaking, they should have arrived at the Golden Claw Treasure Land very quickly from the 4 godsons, at most a day. However, Qin Yun had waited for a long time, indicating that they had been delayed by something. Qin Yun was still worried that something would happen to the Divine Adjudicator and company, but it was useless worrying now. He could not enter the Myriad Realms' Divine Yang, and the Divine Court of the Myriad Realms had moved to the 4 Divine Yang. The Enforcer Realm Monarch had arrived a long time ago. He led the Enforcers over and Qin Yun arranged for them to head to the Illusory Pupil and Twin Heart Races treasure lands to dig up Divine Universe Goldstones. Qin Yun did not wait for the Divine Judge and the others, but Long Jinchuan did. Long Jinchuan sat on a golden flying ship. This ship was not very big, only around 100 meters long. It shined with a golden light as it flew in the air and stopped outside the Golden Claw Treasure Land. Qin Yun immediately went out to welcome them. The ship didn't fly into the Golden Claw Treasured Land. Long Jinchuan and a middle-aged man with white hair at his temples and an extraordinary bearing came out of the golden ship and slowly landed on the ground. That middle-aged man was dressed in simple white clothes. There was nothing particularly dazzling about him, but he gave off a powerful aura. He looked very kind and had a smile on his face, but his eyes would occasionally emit a sharp glint. With a glance, Qin Yun knew that this was the avatar of the Nine Dragons country's king, Long Fengyun. Even if it was an avatar, it was still very powerful. Your Excellency, there's no need to stand on ceremony. Long Fengyun smiled faintly when he saw Qin Yun. Qin Yun really wanted to call the king of Nine Dragons Senior. After all, he was an expert from a mid-tier faction. It was indeed surprising for him to be so humble. "Welcome Nine Dragon King to Divine Desolate, please come in." Qin Yun released the Nine-Sun Heaven-Raising Pagoda and let Long Fengyun and Long Jin enter. This place was not in the Golden Claw treasured land, but it was absolutely safe. Monkey King and Ba Taiyin were at Qin Yun's side. Long Jinchuan and Nine Dragons country's king were also very strong. Maybe there were many powerful 9th-level divine space realm experts on their golden ship, so they were not afraid of sneak attack. After entering the Nine-Sun Heaven-Raising Pagoda, Qin Yun made a long story short. The awakening talisman didn't awaken the Nine Dragons people. This might be because my talisman isn't strong enough. This is related to my strength. This was also the conclusion he came to after discussing with Taisher. Nine Dragons people who surpassed the divine space realm were very strong in all aspects. It was not easy to brand bloodline heavenly runes into their bodies. Long Fengyun smiled and waved his hand. "Your Excellency, you should have sensed something, right?" Qin Yun's heart trembled. When he was in the bath with Yu Shangyun and Luo Yaofeng, he said that he sensed something strange with the actions of the kingdoms and empires. It seems like the kingdoms and empires attached great importance to Divine Desolate for some reason. "Please enlighten me, King of Nine Dragons," Qin Yun said. "This is a very sudden change, I really didn't expect it. Your Divine Desolate's Nine-Sun Law Spirit actually has this kind of method." Long Fengyun sighed and said, "But for our Nine Dragons kingdom, it should be a good thing." Qin Yun calmly listened, but he is very shocked in his heart. Nine-Sun Law Spirit actually intervened in the Nine Dragons kingdom's matter. Nine Dragons kingdom is in Great Flood Cosmos. Nine-Sun Law Spirit only opened the entrance, but its power shouldn't be able to permeate the entire Great Flood Cosmos. Long Jinchuan previously asked Qin Yun for help. He asked him to pass on a message to Nine-Sun Law Spirit to open a passage to barbarian races cosmos. Nine Dragons Kingdom offended the Great Flood Empire in Great Flood Cosmos. If they could escape to barbarian races cosmos, they wouldn't have been annihilated. All the universe law spirits have been awakened, or it could be said that their seals have been broken by Nine-Sun Law Spirit. Long Fengyun said, "Every cosmos has its own universe law spirit, but they were all sealed before. But now they have suddenly moved. Universe law spirits of every cosmos?" Qin Yun is very shocked after hearing this. Taiyin Ba said with frown, "Universe law spirits should have perished. I've heard since I was young that universe law spirits are very cruel." "No, the universe's Dharma spirit was sealed." Long Fengyun said, "The Dharma spirit of my Great Flood universe was sealed by a very mysterious force." "Is it an empire?" Monkey King asked. "No, it's a Taisher power. This is a very mysterious power that has a close relationship with various empires. There are many Taisher powers. Although they are scattered in many cosmos, they can communicate with each other." Long Fengyun said, "The empires in the cosmos most likely controlled the Taisher power. But later on, the Taisher power gradually developed and became equal to the Empire's power." Qin Yun is the most astonished because he has a Taisher brother. Is there a connection? And what is the relationship between the Nine-Sun Law Spirit and the primordial Taisher bloodline heavenly pattern box that it took from the Great Divine King and the Taisher power? Could it be that Nine-Sun Law Spirit, through the primordial Taisher, contacted the Taisher power and unsealed all the universe law spirits? No wonder Nine Sun Law Spirit refused to give the bloodline heavenly pattern box to Qin Yun. So it has this kind of use. What will happen if the Universe Law Spirit reappears? Qin Yun asked. Universe Law Spirits are very powerful, this is for sure. The Great Flood Cosmos Law Spirit contacted me before. It said it wants to take back the power in our bodies. Long Fengyan said. Take back the power? Qin Yun cried out in alarm. That's right, the Law Spirit said that it wants to take away the majority of the power in our bodies and make us degenerate to the divine space realm. Long Fengyan said. Once the living beings of every cosmos are suppressed to the divine space realm, they will definitely think of a way to enter Divine Desolate because Divine Desolate is the richest in resources. Chapter 31:26. Qin Yun and Ba Taiyin are stunned. The energy cultivated in their bodies can be taken back? What kind of operation is this? Is this true? How much energy can be taken away from people who surpass the divine space realm? Negligible, right? What use is it to the Universe Law Spirit? Qin Yun doesn't understand. Your Excellency Divine King, you are wrong. People who surpass the divine space realm have unimaginably powerful energy in their bodies. Especially the Divine Universe and Divine Universe Heavenly Bone, they are all very large. When the Universe Law Spirit takes back our energy, the Divine Universe in our bodies will degenerate. However, the Divine Universe Heavenly Bone and Soul Divine Universe won't degenerate. This can ensure that we have formidable power in the divine space realm. The reason why the universe's Dharma spirits are taking back our energy is not only to restore their own energy, but also to suppress our growth. In other words, in the future, they will restrict us to the divine universe realm and not allow us to surpass this boundary, lest we threaten the universe's Dharma spirits again. Nine Dragon King simply explained the Universe Law Spirit's intention. He is also filled with regret. Although his main body was a powerhouse that far surpassed the divine space realm, he could still accept such a result. Once the Universe Law Spirit starts to move, it means that all the living beings in the universe will be suppressed to the same realm. There won't be too big of a difference in strength. It is normal for the Universe Law Spirit to suppress and restrict the growth of living beings. After all, the Universe Law Spirit was once sealed by a powerful living being. And this group of living beings has stirred up the entire universe. Qin Yun said, the Universe Law Spirit only takes back the energy of living beings? Even so, it shouldn't be enough for the kingdoms and empires to attach so much importance to Divine Desolate, right? Heaven Secrets sect told him before that Divine Desolate is constantly growing and the speed of its growth is getting faster and faster. The Universe Law Spirit not only takes back the energy of living beings, it also takes back the energy of the place where we live. Then, it gathers all the energy within its control and even helps the myriad realms' divine sun become stronger. This might be because there are many Universe Law Spirits doing this to thank the Nine Sun Law Spirit. Nine Dragon King said. Qin Yun is stunned once again. If this is the case, how powerful will the Nine Sun Law Spirit be? Divine Desolate must be very prosperous. However, the highest realm of the living beings in Divine Desolate is the 9th level Divine Space realm. The reason why the Daluo Empire valued the Nine Sun Sacred Ground so much was because it was the core of the Divine Wilderness. If that day really came, the Daluo Empire would have the upper hand and occupy the center of the Divine Wilderness, the Nine Sun Sacred Ground. I suspect that the multiple universes will eventually merge together. Nine Dragons King said, at that time, the Divine Wilderness will be a place we must fight for. Many universes, many kingdoms and empires gathered in the Divine Wilderness. This was the calamity that Qin Yun had a premonition of. He originally believed that the calamity that would test the various races of the Divine Wilderness and force them to evolve would descend like a calamity. He didn't expect it to be like this. From Qin Yun's point of view, the gathering of so many empires and kingdoms in the divine wilderness was more terrifying than any calamity. After all, the people of those empires and kingdoms had once surpassed the 9th level of the divine space realm. Even if their cultivation had regressed, their foundation was still there, and there were a lot of them. The local races of the divine wilderness did not even have the chance to breathe when facing so many powers. Just imagine how strong the armies of those kingdoms and empires were. Back then, Qin Yun had to use the Divine King Heavenly Seal and consume a large amount of Divine Universe Golden Stones to kill 30 of them. After the cultivation of the experts of the empires and kingdoms regressed, there were countless batches of the Divine Dragon Army. This sudden pressure caused Qin Yun to be unable to breathe. He originally thought that according to the current situation, the kingdoms and empires would only be able to send some trash divine space realm expert. That way, he would not feel any pressure at all. But now, the appearance of the universe law spirit has intensified the situation in the divine wilderness. Qin Yun felt very depressed. The 9 sun law spirits' move was indeed brilliant. In one breath, it made it difficult for those upper-level beings to turn the tables, but they were not completely killed. After the cultivation of those upper-level beings regressed, they could still do whatever they wanted in the divine wilderness. The ones who suffered were the living beings of the divine wilderness. Your Excellency Divine King, if the situation is as we expected, then my 9 dragons' kingdom will definitely come to the divine wilderness. 9 Dragons King said. You are very welcome, Qin Yun said with a smile. We will become firm allies. 9 Dragons King stood up and shook hands with Qin Yun with a smile. 9 Dragons King is very clear that after their cultivation regressed, they would need Qin Yun's awakening talismans to become stronger in the divine wilderness. Those awakening talismans would allow them to obtain bloodline heavenly runes, which would increase their potential and increase the upper limit of their divine cosmos power. Their cultivation would be limited to the 9th level of the divine space realm. When the time comes, it would be a competition of divine cosmos power's upper limit. 9 Dragons King also knows that Qin Yun is currently lacking manpower. That's why he will do his best to help Qin Yun. Qin Yun asked 9 Dragons King to help some female warriors. 9 Dragons King readily agreed. There are many 9th-level divine space realm experts in the 9 Dragons Kingdom. Moreover, they are not lacking in talent. Even if the cultivation regressed in the future, the current 9th-level divine space realm experts would not be a match for regressed cultivators. Do the other empires and kingdoms know about the universe law spirit? Qin Yun asked. They should all know. Your Excellency God King, Exotic Cat Kingdom's battleships will arrive soon, but because of this matter, they might arrive a bit later. Now all the other kingdoms and empires are making preparations. Although Exotic Cat King's battleships won't arrive so soon, the next time he comes, he will come with his true body. Although it will be his true body with regressed cultivation, it is still very powerful, far stronger than the dominant dragon army. What are you preparing for? Qin Yun asked. Relocate divine wilderness. We are currently preparing for this. 9 Dragons King said. Long Jinchuan said, Your Excellency God King, once the great change arrives and the universes merge, our battleships will rush over as fast as possible to support you. We are very grateful for your help. We will do our best to block Exotic Cat King's attack. Qin Yun said. No need to be polite. Although our 9 Dragons Kingdom has not arrived in Divine Wilderness, I, 9 Dragons King, have already recognized you as the God King of Divine Wilderness. Your Excellency God King, we really hope that you can control the order of Divine Wilderness. 9 Dragons King said with smile. With order in Divine Wilderness, the 9 Dragons Kingdom and the others can do their own thing with peace of mind. They don't have any ambition, they just want to be the strongest, but if they break the balance of Great Flood Cosmos, they will be suppressed by the Great Hong Empire. Will the Great Hong Empire also come to Divine Wilderness? Qin Yun asked. Race. Chapter 31:27. Speaking of the Heaven Hong Empire, the 9 Dragons King's expression changed. He sighed and said, "They will definitely come. Moreover, the Heaven Hong Empire has come looking for us, hoping that after our 9 Dragons Kingdom arrives in the Divine Wilderness, we will merge with their Heaven Hong Empire." The empire had come to the gods desolate. In order to ensure its deterrence, it had to strengthen itself. Therefore, it needed the support of the other kingdoms. 9 Dragons King, what do you think? Qin Yun asked. We came to God Desolate to follow His Excellency, the God King. His Excellency God King does not pursue power and authority, unlike those emperors of empires, 9 Dragons King said. Qin Yun was overwhelmed by the 9 Dragon King's attitude. Qin Yun previously told Long Jin about the divine court of the myriad world. He also said that it would be best to use the divine court's power to maintain order in Divine Desolate. Only by doing so can Divine Desolate be stabilized. However, the divine court of myriad worlds was too weak, and it was very difficult for it to grow. Especially in the coming Great Era, it was highly likely that it would be destroyed by other empires. Roughly how many empires will there be? Tang Ba asked. The Great Luo Empire, the Great Blue Empire, the Huoling Empire, and the Tian Hong Empire. These should be the only 4 empires. Then there are the Barbarian Cosmos, there are a few Barbarian Cosmos as well. I'm not sure what their situation is, but they will definitely come to God Desolate, 9 Dragon King said. The humans of the barbarian race universe could only be described as terrifying. According to the information from the Heaven Secrets sect, the barbarians in the 9 Sun Sacred Ground could suppress the army of the Great Luo Empire. The barbarians had no intention of leaving the 9 Sun Sacred Ground. After all, the 9 Sun Sacred Ground was the most resource-rich region in the Divine Wilderness. They would definitely gather their greatest strength to occupy the 9 Sun Sacred Ground. Although Qin Yun was known as a godly monarch, the people of the Great Luo Empire often mocked him. They said that if a godly monarch like him dared not enter the 9 Sun Sacred Ground, what kind of godly monarch was he? Tyrant Ba was excited. The Great Blue Empire is coming too? I'm trash in their eyes. I'll let them know how well I've developed in the gods desolate. One day, I'll let the great blue sky tharch see how strong I am. Your Excellency, let me tell you my worries. 9 Dragons King's expression was solemn as he said, if the 4 great empires really come, they definitely won't start a war easily. A war between empires is bound to shake heaven and earth, and the other kingdoms and empires will reap the benefits. Then, they will definitely incite conflict between kingdoms. This is inevitable because in the various universes, most kingdoms have irreconcilable enmity with each other. This is mainly instigated by the empires. The conflicts between the kingdoms will force them to join the empire, or make them swear loyalty to the empire, and then become the empire's minions. The existence of Your Excellency, the God King, will definitely make the empire very uncomfortable, so the empire will use the kingdom to encircle Your Excellency. Now, for example, Cat King is an example. The kingdoms of the other universes were more or less unwilling to become the slaves of the empires. Especially after everyone's cultivation had regressed and entered the God Desolate Heavens, those kingdoms might feel that they could make a comeback and develop into empires, freeing themselves from the control of those great empires. Especially when there were many empires in the Divine Wilderness. There were checks and balances between empires, so the empires needed the strength of the kingdoms. 9 Dragon King, do you have any good suggestions? Qin Yun asked. Your Excellency, your existence is very special. You are not an empire, you don't want to control or enslave any kingdom. You only want to control the order and set the rules. You will not threaten the use of the kingdoms. Therefore, it is possible for you to rope in more kingdoms, gather their power and have them fight against the great empires for mutual benefit. 9 Dragon King said. Qin Yun let out a long sigh and said, Easier said than done. Don't tell them that I can bestow bloodline heavenly rune to them and make them ally with me? Your Excellency, regarding the matter of bestowing bloodline heavenly rune, do your best to keep it a secret. Although they will notice it, don't make it too shocking, or else you will be targeted by many empires. 9 Dragon King warned. I understand. Qin Yun nodded. Your Excellency, it's about time. I should go back and take charge of the general situation. The next time we meet, it will be my true body. 9 Dragon King patted Qin Yun's shoulder and said with smile, Although my cultivation regressed, I am still very happy that my true body can come to God desolate. 9 Dragon King and Long Jinchuan left in a hurry. Qin Yun took out the Divine King Heavenly Seal and secretly contacted 9 Sun Law Spirit, but did not get any response. 9 Sun Law Spirit unexpectedly did not inform him about such a big matter. He even found out about it from other people. If he did not know about it beforehand, he would still be muddle-headed in God King City after the big matter happened. Wouldn't he be laughed at until his teeth fell off? 9 Sun Law Spirit, is this Divine King really not your biological son? Qin Yun is very speechless. Qin Yun brought Batain and Monkey King back to Golden Claw Treasure Land. Knowing that a big change is approaching, Qin Yun feels a lot of pressure. At night, he is still busy making awakening talismans. It is because of these awakening talismans that 9 Dragon Kingdom is helping him so much. When 9 Dragon Kingdom moves over, he will have to make sure that he has enough awakening talismans for 9 Dragon King. 9 Dragon Kingdom is very strong, this ally will definitely help him at the most crucial moment. At midnight, Yang Dragon Ling Yu arrived. Yang Dragon Ling Yu came to deliver a letter from 9 Sun Law Spirit. 9 Sun Law Spirit's secret letter. Yang Dragon Ling Yu gave the letter to Qin Yun and immediately left. Clearly, 9 Sun Law Spirit did not let Yang Dragon Ling Yu pass on the message. Qin Yun opened the secret letter and saw a few sentences written by 9 Sun Law Spirit. Little demon, a big change is coming. Your divine king path has begun. All the 9 sun goddesses will soon return to the myriad realms' divine sun land. Do not underestimate the empire and kingdom. You must use the power of Taisher. Remember, don't let the divine king heavenly seal fall into the hands of the Taisher powers. Even if you die, don't hand over the Divine King Heavenly Seal. Do your best to open the 8th and 9th pearls of the 9 Sun Divine Spirit. There are things left behind by me and the Universe Law Spirit. Just this sentence alone contains a lot of information. After Qin Yun finished reading it, he burned the paper. Qin Yun felt that 9 Sun Law Spirit is bidding farewell to him. However, it is impossible for 9 Sun Law Spirit to die. What is going on with him? Could it be that he is going into seclusion? Since the 9 Sun Goddesses have returned, it means that Xie Qiru, Yu Shi and Yu Tian will also return. Could it be that they went to other universes to awaken the other universes' law spirits? 9 Sun Law Spirit actually knows of Brother Taisher's existence. Furthermore, the 90,000 Universe Divine Sun will appear very soon. What shocked Qin Yun the most is that the 8th and 9th pearls of the 9 Sun Divine Spirit actually have things left behind by the Universe Law Spirit. Are they the law spirits of this universe? Taisher power, what exactly is this thing? Qin Yun looked at the burnt paper in his hand, filled with doubt. Chapter 31-28. Qin Yun looked at his 9 Sun Divine Spirit. The last 2 pearls were very difficult to open. He used many methods but was unable to open them. Now that he found out that the things inside the 2 pearls were left behind by the 9 Sun Law Spirit and the Universe Law Spirit, he became even more curious. He wanted to ask the 9 Sun Law Spirit many questions but he couldn't contact it at all. How do I open it? Qin Yun looked at the 9 Sun Divine Spirit. The 9 Sun Law Spirit's letter made Qin Yun somewhat prepared for the following changes. Previously, 9 Dragon King mentioned the Taisha faction, and the 9 Sun Law Spirit also mentioned it once in the letter. In other words, the Taisha faction and the Empire are bound together, so their strength must be very strong. The 9 Sun Law Spirit knew that he had a Taisha bloodline heavenly rune in his hand, and even told him to use it properly. This means that this Taisha was trustworthy. Qin Yun has always been using Taisha's power. In order to use Taisha's power, he had no choice but to think of a way to obtain a large amount of Divine Universe Goldstones to feed his brother Taisha. Brother Taisha, have you heard of the Taisha faction? Qin Yun asked. Then he told him about what he just learned about the Taisha faction and the great change that 9 Dragon King mentioned. After listening, Taisha said after a long while, "It might be the humans that were produced by the primordial Taisha. My memories of this are very vague. If the Taisha faction is really deeply bound to the Empire and spread across many universes, it means that the universe was once one. In other words, the powerful humans or living beings of the other universes were all born from the primordial Taisha." Qin Yun said in astonishment. Yes, now all the universes are going to join together and take back the power of these living beings. This is not a bad thing for you, Taisha said. Qin Yun believes that in the short term, it is not a good thing for the Divine Desolate because the power of the upper-level living beings will be taken back. After their cultivation regresses, they can come to the Divine Desolate and they will be very strong. Let's see if an even stronger race will appear in the Divine Desolate after the appearance of the 90,000 Universe Divine Sons. Taisha said, "If there really is a super strong race born, then these strong races will be the most powerful beings in the Divine Wasteland. Will these races listen to me?" Qin Yun asked. "Probably not. Experts are all proud. If you don't have enough power, they won't join you." Taisha said, "The Grand Prime's organization might rope in these powerful races." "Has the Godly King Heavenly Seal finished evolving?" asked Qin Yun. After the God King Heavenly Seal evolved, it would be faster for him to raise his Divine Universe Force, cultivate the Divine Universe Heavenly Bone, and cultivate his Divine Universe Force. Moreover, he wouldn't need so many Divine Universe Goldstones. The upper limit of Qin Yun's Divine Cosmos power was very high. If he reached the 9th firmament of the Divine Cosmos realm, his Divine Cosmos power would be very terrifying. At that time, the strongest would only be the 9th level of the Divine Space realm, and he would truly be invincible. "Not yet," Taisha said. "After the evolution is complete, I will remind you." Qin Yun took out the Godly King Heavenly Seal, but he could not see anything. He could only patiently wait for the Godly King Heavenly Seal to complete its evolution. The 9 Yang Law Spirit had warned him not to underestimate the empires and kingdoms. If the Universe Law Spirits took action, then the exotic Cat Kingdom would definitely descend upon the Divine Desolate. The exotic Cat King had previously led an army of 1,000,000 to be destroyed by Qin Yun, and his avatar had been dismembered by Meng Kai. This was a great humiliation. Therefore, the first thing the exotic Cat Kingdom would do after arriving in the Divine Desolate was to attack the Golden Claw Treasure Land. "Exotic Cat Kingdom? You must come. The universe is undergoing great changes, and the Divine Desolate has entered a new era. The 4 great empires and kingdoms have gathered in the Divine Desolate. I, Qin Yun, will exterminate the exotic Cat Kingdom to establish my might." Qin Yun looked at the Godly King Heavenly Seal in his hand. From the 9 Yang Law Spirit's letter, he already knew that the other empires wanted to snatch the Godly King Heavenly Seal. He had to be a deterrent to prevent them from harassing him. Long Jinchuan and his king had brought a batch of equipment with them. Now they had equipped the 700 Divine King warriors. And Qin Yun had given Long Jinchuan 350,000 Divine Universe Heavenly Bones. Qin Yun's nether sun pearl is filled with divine universe heavenly bones. If all the corpses were processed, there would be at least 2 to 3 million genes. 1,000 divine king warriors is far from enough. Qin Yun took out the 9 sun divine hammer and pill transformation heavenly furnace and prepared to start refining. He wants to personally refine stronger armor and weapons. The main thing is to give equipment to people with stronger battle strength. For example, Ba Taiyin's brothers, Monkey King, Su Xiaoba and Xie Wufeng. The 30 sets of Tyrant Dragon Warrior armor were given to 30 of the most outstanding Divine King warriors. These armors have been modified by Qin Yun and are even stronger than before. Qin Yun placed the 10,000 gene Divine Universe Heavenly Bones into the pill transformation Heavenly Furnace and refined them. He turned them into golden beads. This is a higher quality Divine Universe Heavenly Bone. It also consumed a large amount of 9 Sun Divine Spirits energy. After the 10,000 gene Divine Universe Heavenly Bone was refined, it became even heavier. It became more than 20,000 gene. Qin Yun refined it into a rod that can be long or short, thick or thin. This is for Monkey King to use. Because this rod is very easy to make, Qin Yun refined 3 of them in one go. Monkey King and Su Xiaoba each have one, the remaining one is for Heavenly Universe Overlord. After using the Divine King Heavenly Seal's ability, the user of these rods will feel very light. This ability is very similar to 9 Sun Divine Hammer's ability. When used, it will burst out with very heavy and dreadful power. Su Xiaoba has not arrived yet, so Qin Yun gave the rod to Monkey King. Monkey King likes it very much. He wildly smashed the rod in an empty space, causing the earth to tremble unceasingly. The Divine King warriors are very frightened looking at this scene. They all came from 9 Dragon Kingdom, this middle world. But now that they saw Monkey King's power, they are scared witless. They all imagined that if they were smashed by Monkey King's rod, they would definitely be smashed to pieces. Qin Yun is crazily refining tools and talismans inside the 9 Sun Heaven-raising pagoda. Early in the morning, just as he rested for a while, Ba Taiyin said in low voice, "Boss, outside Golden Claw Treasureland, someone is requesting an audience. It's a woman, she says she is Princess Luo Shu's envoy." Last night, Qin Yun was tormented by Ling Yuner, Zi Qingqing and Shui Tianzi for half the night. Although he rested for a while in the morning, his spirit has not fully recovered. Now that he learned that Princess Luo Shu's envoy has arrived, he immediately became spirited. Princess Luo Shu actually sent someone to find him. Yu Shangyun should have already refused to pledge allegiance to Princess Luo Shu. He doesn't know what kind of retaliation Princess Luo Shu will carry out next. Qin Yun immediately tidied himself up, called Monkey King and Ba Taiyin, then left Golden Claw Treasureland. Inside Divine Desolate, with Ba Taiyin and Monkey King's protection, coupled with Qin Yun's formidable ability, no one can injure him. Outside Golden Claw Treasureland, there is a white-clothed woman. Her face is covered with a white mask, only revealing a pair of ice-cold eyes. Even without looking at her eyes, one can feel the arrogance in her bones. Chapter 31-29 Scorpio Kingdom. This woman is the envoy sent by Princess Luo Shu. Although she is a woman, the divine cosmos power in her body is very powerful. Monkey King and Ba Taiyin immediately circulated their strongest divine cosmos power after sensing the woman's power. The cold and arrogant woman's eyes were filled with contempt, but after sensing Ba Taiyin and Monkey King's aura, she immediately retracted her arrogance. "Qin Yun?" the woman said coldly. "Just say what you want." Qin Yun said expressionlessly. "Her Highness ordered you to be loyal to her and agree to a few conditions." The woman said, "I will not be loyal to her, nor will I agree to her conditions. You can go back and report." Qin Yun said, "Just a lowly god king, don't think that you can look down on everything just because you made strange cat king suffer." Her Highness' power is 100 times stronger than strange Cat King. You better be tactful. The woman snorted. I will not be loyal to anyone. If it's cooperation, there is still room for discussion. Qin Yun said. Cooperation? You are not qualified to cooperate with Her Highness. The woman said. Qin Yun, if you are loyal to Her Highness and hand over the Divine King Heavenly Seal and Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box, she will guarantee your life. I will not kill envoys. Qin Yun looked at the woman and said. Qin Yun, do you really think Divine Desolate is yours? Stop dreaming. The deity Desolate could belong to anyone, but it definitely wouldn't belong to a weakling like you. The woman said. Oh right, Her Highness said that as long as you are loyal to her and hand over the Divine King Heavenly Seal and Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box, she is willing to take your wife as her personal maid and guarantee that she will not be humiliated by the Crown Prince. Tell your Highness that after Divine Moon Race and I refuse to be loyal to her, don't think of taking revenge on us or I will make her wish she was dead. Qin Yun said. So you also know about Divine Moon Race. They did indeed reject us, but they are very smart and immediately went to Phoenix Kingdom. We will not take revenge on them. And you have the Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box and Divine King Heavenly Seal. These two things do not belong to you. We will not take revenge on you. We will only take away these things that do not belong to you. The woman sneered. I want to beat you or even kill you. But after killing you, you will not be able to report back. I really want that bitch Luo Shu to know my attitude. Qin Yun was truly enraged. He could thoroughly feel how much Princess Luo Shu despised him, how arrogant she was. Why don't you try? The woman chuckled. Qin Yun, I can tell you clearly that if you dare to touch me, Her Highness will kill you within 3 days. Qin Yun took out the Divine King's spear. Bang! He opened fire and shot out the bullets he had just refined. The bullets were made by extracting heavenly patterns from a bloodline heavenly pattern box, and they carried a high temperature when fired. Qin Yun's spear caught her off guard. The woman's stomach was pierced, and she let out a painful scream. Scram, go back and tell that slut Luo Shu that if she dares to come within 3 days, I dare to catch her and hang her up for death by 1,000 cuts. Qin Yun said coldly. Although the woman was furious and wanted to attack, her heart was filled with fear. If Qin Yun's attack had hit her head, she would have been finished. Furthermore, Qin Yun had 2 experts by his side. She was no match for Qin Yun at all. The woman could only leave with hatred in her heart. Boss, will Princess Luo Shu come within 3 days? Ba Tain asked. Should we prepare? She won't come. A dignified empire's princess personally coming to deal with a lowly person like me? This is beneath her status. Qin Yun said with a smile. That woman just said it to scare people. Then will she send others to attack the Golden Claw Treasure Land? Monkey King immediately became very excited. Ever since he obtained the rod refined by Qin Yun, he has been thinking of using it to beat others to death. Although Princess Luo Shu is arrogant, she is not a fool. Even if she wants to make a move, she will wait until after I fight with Exotic Cat King. Qin Yun said. Everyone knows that Exotic Cat King will definitely use the power of the entire Exotic Cat Kingdom to attack me. Princess Luo Shu and the Crown Prince of Great Luo will definitely take this opportunity to see my strength. Ba Tain nodded and said, They are still very worried about Boss. They are afraid that if they fall into Boss trap, they will definitely be overtaken by the other empires. Qin Yun already learned from the woman that the Divine Moon Race and the Phoenix Kingdom are in contact. However, he still has to wait for Yu Shangyun to come and inform him about the specific situation. At noon, the Divine Judge and the others that Qin Yun had been waiting for many days finally arrived. Qin Yun hurriedly went out to greet them. Divine Judge Xie Wufeng, An Wukong, Shiman Dezhuang, Pippi Pig and Su Xiaoba all smiled when they saw Qin Yun. However, Qin Yun could not smile because the injuries on their bodies are not light. Even the white and fat Pippi Pig has a few scars on his body. "It is just a minor injury," the divine judge said with a bright smile. After not seeing the divine judge for a period of time, he has become even stronger. Although he has the appearance of an old man, his short white hair made him look even younger. His entire body is filled with power. Qin Yun almost could not recognize him. "Uncle Qin, don't listen to the divine judge, we were almost beaten to the point of shit." Shimen Dazhuang immediately rushed in front of Qin Yun and howled, "Uncle Qin, you have to help us take revenge. Look at my incomparably handsome face, I was disfigured." There is indeed a black scar on Shimen Dazhuang's thin face. It looks like it was cut by a high-temperature light. "Big fool, you were not beaten, but I think you were almost scared to the point of shit. The ones who ran the fastest were you and Pippi Pig. How could you be beaten? Is it the wound on your face, or was it caused by running too fast and running into the hot light?" Su Xiaoba crossed his arms over his chest and said with disdain. This Su Xiaoba still has the appearance of a bald youth, but his whole body is filled with arrogance. He looks like he is invincible under the heavens. No matter how you look at him, you are in a bad mood and want to beat him up. "Brother Tyrannical Heaven, I know you are very awesome, but you can't beat those people, right? If we don't run, we will be beaten to the point of shit." Shimen Dazhuang curled his lips and said. Qin Yun looked at Xie Wufeng and asked, "Boss Xie, who attacked you?" "Their upper body is human and lower body is scorpion. Their defense is very strong, they are all 9th-level divine space realm experts." Xie Wufeng said, "There are a lot of them, several hundred. They are heavenly Scorpion Kingdom's warriors." Qin Yun said with frown, "Let's go inside and talk business." The divine judge said, "Divine desolate situation is becoming more and more complicated, we must make proper preparations." Chapter 3130. Complete version. Update the latest chapter of the Nine Sons Divine King as soon as possible. Heavenly Scorpion Kingdom? Are they the same as Strange Cat Kingdom, lackeys of Great Luo Empire? Su Xiaoba said, "They are very malicious, they attacked us as soon as they saw us. Moreover, they are experts in using poison. They should not know that you came out from Four Divine Sun, right?" Qin Yun also wants to know whether or not Heavenly Scorpion Kingdom came here with a purpose. "They followed us all the way, waited until we were far away from Four Divine Sun and arrived at Divine Desolate, then they attacked us. It's all our fault for not being vigilant enough, otherwise we would have discovered them long ago," An Wukong said. Qin Yun thought that Divine Judge and the others met Heavenly Scorpion Kingdom by chance. "Let's go in first, these guys are most likely related to Great Luo Empire." Qin Yun immediately invited Divine Judge and the others to enter Golden Claw Treasure Land. Then they arrived at the center of Heavenly Law Altar. Shimen Dazhuang and Pippi Pig are very happy to see Heavenly Law Altar and their master Tian Daozi. Especially Shimen Dazhuang. He wants to let Tian Daozi taste Pippi Pig's latest and strongest fart. Tian Daozi has extraordinary perception towards Pippi Pig and Shimen Dazhuang. It seems like he can sense the arrival of these two unlucky disciples from far away, so he immediately hid far away from them. Qin Yun brought Divine Judge and the others into Heavenly Law Altar's main hall. Heavenly Law Altar is like a super tall building, it can accommodate many people and is also very sturdy. Qin Yun wants to build a branch of Myriad Realms Divine Court here. After entering the main hall, Qin Yun called Meng Kai over. Meng Kai is not locked inside the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron. He is now doing odd jobs in Golden Claw Treasure Land. He is completely under Qin Yun's control and has signed all kinds of soul contracts. He saw the injuries on Xie Wufeng and the others and realized that they were besieged by Heavenly Scorpion Kingdom's soldiers. These lords' injuries are mainly caused by Heavenly Scorpion Kingdom's venom. Luckily their venom is not very strong. Their venom can be transformed into blades and swords. If they were to stab into the body, it would be very dangerous. Meng Kai said. Meng Kai, tell me about Heavenly Scorpion Kingdom. What is their relationship with Great Luo Empire? Qin Yun said. Although Xie Wufeng and the others were quite strong right now, being able to escape from the encirclement of a large number of Scorpio warriors was already very impressive. The Sky Scorpio King has a good relationship with the Crown Prince of Origin Luo. Given the current situation, he will definitely be loyal to the Crown Prince. Meng Kai said, Master Qin, the Crown Prince of Daluo knows a lot about you, that's why he sent the Scorpio people to ambush and capture your friends. The Divine Chief said, Looks like it's no longer safe outside the Four Gods Sunday. Fortunately, leaving the Four Gods Sun requires a very strict inspection. We will immediately send the order back not to leave the Four Gods Sun on a large scale. If it was just a person coming out of the Four God Yang, the commotion wouldn't be too big. The Grand Inquisitor and the others had brought a lot of people with them this time, which was why there was such a big commotion. Looks like I'll have to go knock on the Scorpio Kingdom. Sigh, I haven't even dealt with the Exotic Cat Kingdom, and now another Scorpio Kingdom has popped out to court death. Qin Yun said calmly, That's fine. Since Exotic Cat King hasn't arrived yet, I will use the Scorpio Kingdom to practice. Qin Yun's current cultivation is not very strong, but his Divine King warriors and all kinds of secret weapons are very dreadful. Boss Xie, the current situation of Divine Desolate is very unfavorable for our Divine Desolate people. I have a method that can help you become stronger, but it will be very torturous. Do you want to try it? Qin Yun said. Xie Wufeng looked at Monkey King. He has been paying attention to him since earlier. He asked, Brother Monkey, did you use this method to become stronger? Indeed. Qin Yun said with smile. But he is different from you. This little monkey doesn't have a body before you have a body, so it won't take too long. Alright, I have nothing to fear. Xie Wufeng said with smile. Brother Divine King, many thanks. No need to be polite. We are brothers. Qin Yun said, then looked at Su Xiaoba and asked, Xiaoba, are you afraid of pain? As long as I can become stronger, I have nothing to fear. Su Xiaoba wants to use all kinds of methods to become stronger. Of course he knows how powerful Empire and Kingdom's warriors are. When he was besieged by Heavenly Scorpion warriors, he thought that he would be able to kill all of them in a fit of anger. However, in the end, they were the ones who ran away dejectedly and even injured. Su Xiaoba hates this kind of humiliation the most. With his character, if Divine Judge and Xie Wufeng were not here, he would rather die than run away. He would have killed a few Heavenly Scorpion warriors. Alright, I will take you there now. Qin Yun said. There is no time to lose, let's go as fast as possible. Divine Judge and An Wukong stayed behind to wait for Qin Yun. They also have something to discuss with Qin Yun. Just as Qin Yun left the Heavenly Law altar with Xie Wufeng and Shimen Dezhuang, he saw Pippi and Shimen Dezhuang running over. Uncle, Master is hiding and doesn't want to see us. This heartless bastard, we came from far away to greet him, but he is hiding and doesn't want to see us. Shimen Dezhuang said in vexation. Just to meet him, I almost disfigured myself. Where are you going? Pippi Pig asked. He has now turned into a small pig. His voice is still very soft, like a child. To become stronger, do you want to come together? Su Xiaoba said with smile. No need for big idiot Zhuang, Pippi Pig can. I feel that Pippi Pig has great potential. In Su Xiaoba's eyes, Pippi Pig's fart is an existence that is close to unparalleled. Don't look down on people, Pippi Pig is so strong because of me. Shimen Dezhuang is very unconvinced. Hearing that they can become stronger, Shimen Dezhuang and Pippi Pig also agreed and boarded the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. But inside the Heaven Leaping Shuttle, Shimen Dezhuang found out that it will be very painful and immediately became terrified. He said that he is already strong enough and doesn't need to become stronger. On the contrary, Pippi Pig did not cower at all. This caused Su Xiaoba to repeatedly ridicule Shimen Dezhuang for being inferior to a pig. Xie Wufeng entered the illusory pupil race's treasure lands, Central Lake. Qin Yun used the Divine King Heavenly Seal to imprint a large amount of heavenly runes inside the lake. How strong he can become will depend on Xie Wufeng's potential. Then they arrived at the Twin Heart Race's treasure lands, Central Lake. Most of the treasured lands of powerful races have this kind of lake. They are mainly used for reproduction. Su Xiaoba and Pippi Pig are sharing this lake. Su Xiaoba said that he is not afraid of pain before. Not long after he entered the lake, he let out a miserable shriek like a pig being butchered. It is even louder than Pippi Pig's shriek. Shimen Dezhuang felt his blood run cold looking at this. He originally wanted to stay behind to accompany Pippi Pig, but he is afraid that Su Xiaoba will drag him down the lake. So he hastily followed Qin Yun back to the Golden Claw treasure land. Since Pippi Pig is not here, Tian Dao Zi came out to meet Shimen Dezhuang with a smile on his face. Tian Dao Zi is afraid of Pippi Pig, but he is not afraid of Shimen Dezhuang at all. After Qin Yun returned to the hall, Divine Judge and An Wukong's injuries have healed up a lot. Old boy, I found a method to break through the space restriction, but it can only be used to construct teleportation formations. It is still very difficult to restore the magic mirror Great Formations operation. And Wukong said, there is one more important thing. I can sense that there is a space formation similar to the magic mirror formation operating. Chapter 31-31. It was already very difficult for An Wukong to operate the teleportation formation in Divine Wilderness. It would be very difficult for him to restore the magic mirror formation. As long as the Daluo Empire existed, it would be very difficult. Even if it could be done, the Daluo Empire would destroy it. Now that An Wukong had detected something similar to the magic mirror formation, it was very likely that the Daluo Empire was setting up their magic mirror formation. It was not difficult for the Daluo Empire to create such a thing. After all, Divine Wilderness would become a place that many empires would fight for in the future. It was normal for the Daluo Empire to use a lot of resources to build the magic mirror formation. As long as the magic mirror could be popularized in Divine Wilderness again, whoever controlled the magic mirror would have the right to speak. They could also use the magic mirror to eavesdrop on all kinds of useful information. If the Daluo Empire controlled the magic mirror, any information released on the magic mirror in the future would be monitored by them. They would definitely use the magic mirror to beautify the Daluo Empire. They might even use the magic mirror to smear Qin Yun and other empires. Qin Yun had built the magic mirror for this purpose. He did not expect that the Daluo Empire would be able to replicate it. This is not good news. The Divine Preceptor shook his head. If the magic mirror is controlled by the Daluo Empire, then any information on the platform will be beneficial to them and harmful to us. The information released on the magic mirror could be transmitted very quickly. It could be used to deceive people and create rumors. It was an invisible but powerful weapon. And Wukong was also filled with worry. He said, "Brother, their techniques are much more advanced than ours. I will try my best to attack them and find a way to destroy their formation." Qin Yun waved his hand. "No need. You guys focus on setting up the teleportation formation. The teleportation formation is very important. It will make it convenient for us to transport resources and troops. We can catch them off guard. So are we just going to leave the magic mirror formation alone?" And Wukong said, "If they control the magic mirror formation, it will be very disadvantageous to you, the deity king." Qin Yun smiled. "Brother, and don't forget who created the magic mirror formation. I have a way to deal with this. Just focus on setting up the formation and connect the 4 godsons, 5 godsons, Golden Claw Treasure Land and the other 2 treasure lands." And Wukong was relieved to hear that Qin Yun had a plan. "Oh right, the teleportation formation must be kept a secret. If they find out, they will definitely think of a way to block our teleportation, Qin Yun warned. Got it. The Grand Inquisitor nodded. Qin Yun took out the Divine King Heavenly Seal and said, Divine Judge, hand over your Heaven's Divine Punishment flags. The All Heaven's Divine Punishment flag was the weapon of the Divine Judge. In the past, it was very powerful, but now it was not enough. The Divine Judge immediately took out the Divine Punishment flags and handed them to Qin Yun. Qin Yun took the Heaven's Divine Punishment flags and entered a chamber. He wanted to refine some Divine Universe heavenly bones so that the Heaven's Divine Punishment flags could withstand an even greater eruption of strength. Then, through the Godly Monarch Heavenly Seal, he would bestow even greater power. If Qin Yun wanted to revive the Divine Court of the Myriad Worlds, he needed his help. First of all, the Divine Judge had to be strong enough to give the entire Divine Court of Myriad Worlds confidence. After modifying the Myriad Heaven's Divine Punishment flags, Qin Yun returned them to the Divine Judge. The Grand Inquisitor felt that he had become much stronger as soon as he held it in his hand. He was overjoyed. In the past, the Divine Judge mainly listened to the Nine-Yang Dharma Spirit, but it had been a long time since he contacted the Nine-Yang Dharma Spirit. Later on, his Myriad Heaven's Divine Punishment flags could not obtain the energy support of the Myriad Realm's Divine Sons. At that time, he understood that the Nine Sons Dharma Spirit no longer valued the Myriad Realm's Divine Court. In other words, it wanted to hand the Myriad Realm's Divine Court over to Qin Yun. The Divine Adjudicator was mainly blaming himself for being the supervisor of the Divine Court of Myriad Worlds, while Qin Yun was the king of the Divine Court of Myriad Worlds. And Wukong and the Grand Inquisitor would stay in the Golden Claw Treasure Land for a period of time, mainly to build the teleportation portal. After building these teleportation arrays, he could teleport to the four Divine Sons. The true Myriad Realm's Divine Palace was inside the four Divine Sons. Qin Yun needed to make more contact with it. Qin Yun wanted the Divine Mountain to come over. The Divine Inscription Mountain has great potential. Furthermore, the growth of the Divine Inscription Mountain's inscription gate is extremely fast. There are more and more powerful inscription blacksmiths. Qin Yun needed these inscription blacksmiths to build the battleship. Powerful battleships were indispensable in the upcoming confrontation with the empires and kingdoms. In addition, they also needed many defensive cannons. The Nine-Yang Divine Palace is also developing very well, especially with the help of the Awakening Talisman. Each and every one of them has advanced by leaps and bounds. The Dragon Hall, Sword Hall and Beast Hall of the Nine-Yang Divine Palace are all very strong. They can be made into special forces, mainly used for sneak attack. Divine Adjudicator, Old Brother, and we are different from the other kingdoms and empires. They want absolute rule. What we want is to control the order, to make the living beings of the Divine Desolate follow the order we set. Our Nine-Yang Divine Palace and the Myriad Realm's Divine Court must be above their imperial power, Qin Yun said. The Divine Adjudicator nodded and said, They don't treat the people of the Divine Desolate as people. In the eyes of the middle and upper echelons, the lower echelons are not people. They wantonly slaughter the people of the Divine Desolate and do whatever they want. We must completely crush their power. Ever since the establishment of the Myriad Realm's Divine Court, they wanted to maintain order. However, they have always been powerless to do so. Even now, with Qin Yun as the leader, the Myriad Realm's Divine Court still hasn't formed any authority. It can be said that they don't have the slightest bit of deterrence. It is very simple to show deterrence. Just use the strongest power and use the name of the Myriad Realm's Divine Court to deal a heavy blow to those rampant powers in the Divine Desolate. Let them know how terrifying the order of the Divine Desolate is. Of course, it is still not possible at the moment. They need time to grow stronger. The Divine Adjudicator went to help An Wukong build the teleportation formation. Soon after, the space god also rushed over to help. The nameless old man is inside the 4 divine suns making primal chaos divine Sunday. Because Qin Yun gave him a very considerable amount of divine universe golden stones, he wants him to make even more small primal chaos divine sun in a short period of time. Qin Yun doesn't need a lot of primal chaos divine sun because he still has the pill transformation heavenly furnace to suppress and strengthen it. Boss, Princess Luo Shu's emissary requests an audience. It's the same woman from last time, Ba Taiyin said. Did she come by herself? Qin Yun asked. That female emissary's strength is not weak. Previously, Qin Yun's spear pierced through her abdomen and she left after saying some ruthless words. It hasn't been that long and she actually came back. Yes, she came by herself. She said that she is helping Princess Luo Shu pass on a message. Ba Taiyin said. Is that so? Didn't she say that she would let Princess Luo Shu take revenge on me? Qin Yun found it somewhat funny and said, We have to be careful, maybe it's a trap. That female emissary said that Princess Luo Shu would definitely take revenge on Qin Yun within 3 days. Now 3 days have passed but Princess Luo Shu still hasn't come. Chapter 31-32. Qin Yun brought Monkey King and Ba Taiyin out. The Monkey King carried the rod and held it tightly in his hand. It was filled with power. As long as there was a need to fight, he could immediately smash it ruthlessly. The messenger sent by Princess Luo Shu wore the same mask as last time. I'm very disappointed that Princess Luo Shu didn't come. Qin Yun chuckled. Didn't you say that she would take revenge on me? Qin Yun, Her Highness the Princess said that she wouldn't take revenge on you. The unpleasantness from before was all our fault. Please don't take it to heart. The woman said. Although she was very unhappy, she could only lower her stance. Even so, her tone was still cold. I, Qin Yun, don't want to provoke anyone. If I can avoid conflict, that would be for the best. But this doesn't mean that I, Qin Yun, am afraid. Qin Yun said. If you are smart, you should know that you can't avoid me, a divine king in the divine desolate. Qin Yun, Her Highness the Princess's clone originally wanted to personally come and talk to you but because of an important matter, she did not come. The woman said. I know what it is. Qin Yun said with smile. Your cultivation is going to regress, right? The woman was slightly surprised and said, You know? Qin Yun smiled and said, Why can't I know? The divine wilderness was a place that all the empires would fight for. You might be the strongest power in the divine wilderness for now, but that is only temporary. In the gods desolate, I, the God King, have the final say. Her Highness wants me to tell you that the internal situation in the Daluo Empire isn't as bad as the outside world think. Our celestial Dharch of Zenith Luo is still around. The competition between the Crown Prince and the Princess was tacitly approved by the celestial Dharch. The woman said, This competition is mainly to see who can develop faster and better in the gods' wilderness. Qin Yun said, Tell your princess that a mutually beneficial cooperation is fine. If she wants to pledge loyalty or something, then don't talk about it. I will inform Her Highness. The woman said, Qin Yun, I want to ask you one more thing, can you block Strange Cat King's fleet? Are you asking, or are you asking on behalf of your princess? Asked Qin Yun. I asked myself. Because Her Royal Highness is very sure that you will definitely lose when King Strange Cat's fleet attacks. After you are defeated, you can come and seek refuge with Her Royal Highness. She will give you extremely high treatment and status. The woman said. You don't have to worry about Strange Cat King. Qin Yun did not take it to heart. Instead, he said with a smile, Missy, does it still hurt when I pierced your stomach? When this matter was mentioned, the woman was angered to the point of stomping her feet. She gritted her teeth and said, It's just a small injury. It healed a long time ago. Why are you asking about this? Do you care about me? I'm afraid that I'll injure you too severely, preventing you from having children. Do you want me to help you do a thorough check? Qin Yun asked again. He was sincere. You bastard. The woman subconsciously thought that Qin Yun was beating around the bush to express something. Qin Yun was somewhat speechless. He said, I'm really concerned about your injuries, because I want to ask you for a small favor. We didn't get along very well before. I don't know if you're willing or not. Although I'm a woman, I'm not as narrow-minded as you. The woman snorted coldly. Tell me, I'll do my best. You are indeed broad-minded, Qin Yun said with smile. Bastard, quickly tell me what it is. If you don't tell me, I'll leave. The woman lightly groaned. She also doesn't know why. Last time they came, they were arguing about killing each other. Now they are actually quarreling. Monkey King is somewhat disappointed. He thought that his big stick would be able to see blood. I want all the information about Scorpio Kingdom in God Desolate, the more detailed the better, Qin Yun said earnestly. The woman was shocked hearing this. Qin Yun, you haven't even dealt with Strange Cat King yet and you're already eyeing Scorpio Kingdom? Strange Cat King won't arrive so quickly, right? If they come, you should have informed me in advance, right? Qin Yun said with smile. Before Strange Cat King arrives, I will go knock on Scorpio Kingdom and borrow some resources from them. You madman! Don't you know that Scorpio Kingdom is even more terrifying than Strange Cat King? Scorpio Kingdom and Crown Prince have a very close relationship. The woman stamped her feet and said, Of course I know. But in my eyes they are all about the same. Your princess and great Luo Crown Prince are all about the same. Qin Yun said. You, my family's princess, is much higher than Strange Cat King and Scorpio King. In this universe, only great Luo Crown Prince and Phoenix Queen can share the limelight with her. The woman is very unconvinced. I will leave the matter of Scorpio Kingdom to little sister. Qin Yun said, Of course, I won't let little sister work for nothing. I can help you, but you must not spread this matter. I don't want people to know that I provided the information. I also won't tell Her Highness about this matter. The woman said. Oh right, little sister's name? Qin Yun asked. Luo Yaya. I will give you the information about Scorpio Kingdom as soon as possible. Many thanks, little sister, Qin Yun said with smile. He is now beginning to believe what the 9 Sun Law Spirit said. His face truly has a strange power. Luo Yaya snorted and left. Qin Yun touched his nose. He is considering whether or not to seduce Princess Luo Shu and Phoenix Queen. No, I am a dignified divine king, how can I rely on women? But there is nothing wrong with relying on women. Qin Yun is very conflicted in his heart. He looked at the young Monkey King beside him and said with smile, Little monkey, don't be anxious. Wait until Boss Ye and the others become stronger, we will bring you guys to Scorpio Kingdom. At that time, we can guarantee that we will fight to our heart's content. There is still no movement from Twin Heart Race and Illusory Pupil Race. At night, Qin Yun and Monkey King Batai went over to take a look. The treasure lands of these 2 powerful races are much stronger than the lakes of Heavenly Fire Treasure Land. They should be able to be used many times. Qin Yun opened his heavenly eye and saw that the lakes have not degenerated. He immediately became very happy. This means that these 2 lakes can continue to be used. It is just that he doesn't know how many times they can be used. He needs at least a few dozen super strong warriors like Monkey King who have an upper limit of 400,000 divine cosmos power. Monkey King's upper limit of divine cosmos power has not reached its limit, it can still continue to increase in the future. I wonder how strong Pippi Pig will become. Qin Yun is actually looking forward to Pippi Pig's growth. Because Pippi Pig's destructive power is truly dreadful, moreover, it is impossible to guard against it. Even Su Wudi Baishan's brother Batian is very afraid of Pippi Pig. From this, it can be seen how great Pippi Pig's deterrence is. As for Xie Wufeng and Su Xiaoba, as long as their upper limit of divine cosmos power increases, there is no need to say anything, their strength will certainly be very astonishing. Scorpio Kingdom is even more dreadful than Exotic Cat Kingdom. Qin Yun wants to see how dreadful these Scorpio people are. Chapter 31-33. Qin Yun returned to the Golden Claw Treasure Land alone in the Nine-Sun Heaven-Raising Pagoda and took out the Divine King Heavenly Seal. The God King Heavenly Seal's evolution is complete. This upgrade has brought about a huge improvement. Taisher said, it can allow one to obtain a 5th-generation bloodline heavenly pattern. 5th-generation bloodline heavenly pattern? Very good. Then what about raising my divine cosmos power? Asked Qin Yun. After the Godly Monarch Heaven Seals upgrade, you will have to raise the upper limit of your divine cosmos power. It's a little different from before, but overall, it will allow you to use a small amount of divine cosmos goldstones to raise the upper limit of your divine cosmos power, said Grand Prime. What about your mental strength and divine universe heavenly bone? Qin Yun asked. There hasn't been any change in that aspect, Taisher said. Qin Yun is somewhat disappointed, but to be able to use a small amount of Divine Universe Goldstones to raise the upper limit of Divine Universe power is already very good. Then what's the difference between raising the upper limit of the Divine Cosmos power now and before? Asked Qin Yun. Using 100 billion Divine Universe Goldstones will allow you to increase your upper limit by 10,000 Divine Universe Force. Taisher said, you have to use at least 50 billion Divine Universe Golden Stones each time. Otherwise, it won't work. 100 billion Divine Universe Goldstones could raise the upper limit of 10,000 Divine Universe Force. This was indeed too little. If it was before, he would need 400 billion to raise the upper limit of 10,000 Divine Space Force. Not bad. What's the principle behind this? How can it be reduced by so much? Qin Yun was very curious. The main thing is that you can absorb the Divine Sun within the 9-yang Divine Spirit to help you cultivate the Divine Cosmos in your body and increase the upper limit of your Divine Cosmos power even faster. Taisher said, you can try it now, the speed is even faster than before. Because we are drawing in the energy of the Divine Sun, we need to wait for a period of time before we can continue using it. Alright. Qin Yun immediately gave it a try. His current upper limit of Divine Cosmos powers was only 15,000. Compared to a 9th firmament Divine Cosmos realm, which easily had 200,000 to 300,000 Divine Cosmos powers, it was truly insufficient. He had trillions of Divine Universe Goldstones in his hands, and he wasn't afraid even if he used up all of them. This was because there was a large mine beneath the Golden Claw Treasure Land. In addition, there were the 2 treasure lands where the Twin Hearts race and the Illusory Pupil race were located, which would allow him to obtain a steady flow of Divine Universe Goldstones. In other words, he could now raise his Divine Cosmos force in a single breath. When Qin Yun stepped into the 5th Heavenly Divine Space Realm, his Divine Space Force's upper limit of 15,000 did not increase. If he wanted to reach the limit of breaking through, he would have to raise the upper limit of his Divine Cosmos Force to 30,000. Qin Yun used 150 billion Divine Universe Goldstones to raise the upper limit of his Divine Universe power to 30,000. This process was very fast. It only took half a day. Then, he broke through. What made him depressed was that after he stepped into the 6th tier of the Divine Space Realm, his Divine Space Force was still 30,000, and there was no explosive increase. Of course, he already had 6 Divine Space Forces, so he was indeed at the 6th tier of the Divine Space Realm. Brother Taisher, why didn't this breakthrough increase my Divine Cosmos power? Asked Qin Yun. Your Divine Cosmos energy already exceeds the limit. When others step into the 6th level of the Divine Cosmos realm, they only have around 10,000 Divine Cosmos energy, But you have 30,000. Other than that, you are limited by your physical body. Taisher said, with the strength of your body now, you can withstand 300,000 divine cosmic force circulating in your body. Any more and you won't be able to withstand it. Qin Yun continued raising the upper limit of his divine universe powers, leaving only 100 billion divine universe goldstones by his side. He used up 1 trillion in one go, raising his upper limit by 100,000 divine universe force. His current cultivation was already at the 7th tier of the divine space realm. His upper limit of divine universe powers was 115,000. He only needed another 5,000 to step into the 8th tier of the divine space realm. When he was at the 6th tier of the divine space realm, his upper limit of divine universe powers was 30,000 and 60,000 was the limit. When he reached the 7th tier of the divine space realm, his upper limit was 60,000 and 120,000 was the limit. According to the current limit, the 8th tier of the divine space realm would be 120,000 and 240,000 was the limit. Of course, if he cultivated the divine universe heavenly bone, his upper limit of divine universe powers would definitely be even higher. He planned to properly cultivate the divine universe heavenly bone when he was at the 8th tier of the divine space realm, allowing his divine universe powers to exceed its limit. This would allow him to have an even higher upper limit when he stepped into the 9th tier. Qin Yun, you have many aspects to cultivate in the future. Mental universe powers, divine universe heavenly bone, and the 9 Sun divine spirits divine sun all need to be cultivated, said Taisher. I know. If Qin Yun wanted to become the strongest person in the divine desolate heavens, he had to cultivate all aspects. Otherwise, he would not be able to contend against the middle and upper echelons. Boss, Luo Yaya is here, Ba Taiyin said. Qin Yun immediately walked out of the 9 Sun heaven-raising pagoda, bringing along Ba Taiyin and the Monkey King. Although he and Princess Luo Shu have eased up, he is still not at ease. After all, Luo Yaya is at the 9th level of the divine space realm. The upper limit of her divine universe powers is extremely high. Luo Yaya still came by herself, still wearing the same clothes and mask as before. Qin Yun, this is the information about the Scorpio Kingdom. Luo Yaya handed over a booklet to Qin Yun. Many thanks, little sister. Qin Yun said with smile. I'm sorry, I still haven't thought of what to give you. No need, I come from an empire, I don't like your gift. Luo Yaya said, do you really want to mess with the Scorpio Kingdom? Then be careful, don't die. Little sister, let me ask you something, have you heard of the magic mirror? Qin Yun asked. Of course I have, that magic mirror was created by you, right? Now it is under the control of our great Luo Empire. Luo Yaya spoke and took out the magic mirror but did not open it. This magic mirror should have the ability to monitor. Qin Yun said with smile. You better use it less, especially when bathing. F***ck. Did you often use the magic mirror to do this kind of dirty things? Luo Yaya immediately put away the magic mirror. Of course not, but I know the magic mirror's ability. Qin Yun said with smile. It seems like you have already used it. Yes, the magic mirror has the ability to monitor. Moreover, using the magic mirror requires face recognition, it will record the user's appearance. Luo Yaya said. But my magic mirror is different, it is internal, there is no need for this kind of authentication. Qin Yun said. Only after face recognition can the magic mirror be opened, right? During recognition, the user's appearance will be recorded and then sent back to the magic mirror gate formation, right? Yes. So when you use it, you must be careful, otherwise it will be very easy to expose your location. Luo Yaya said. Very soon, the magic mirror will be sold. The magic mirror is not in the hands of the crown prince. You don't need to worry about him slandering you. Luo Yaya actually knows what Qin Yun is worried about. Qin Yun is now certain that Luo Yaya is a spy. Otherwise she would not think so much. Little sister, I want to ask you one more thing. Does your family's princess still think about my divine king heavenly seal and dragon bloodline heavenly rune box? Qin Yun asked. No matter if she still thinks about them or not, I want you to tell her that as long as I don't die, nobody will be able to obtain those two things. Even if I die, those two things will die along with me. Chapter 31-34. Luo Yaya's cold eyes behind the mask appeared very calm. Her Highness has clearly said that she will give up on the plan to obtain the God King Heavenly Seal and the Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box. Qin Yun scanned Luo Yaya's body from top to bottom and even opened his heavenly eye. This made Luo Yaya very angry. F***ck, what are you looking at? Luo Yaya felt somewhat uncomfortable being stared at. She felt that Qin Yun's eyes could see through her clothes. Your body is different from your previous body. Last time you came with an avatar, this time you came with your true body. Qin Yun said. Your true body has already surpassed divine space realm, right? Could it be that his cultivation has regressed for him to be able to come to the gods desolate? Luo Yaya closed her eyes, sighed softly, and said, That's right, I'm in the earliest batch. The universe's Dharma spirits are carried out in batches. Even though the divine cosmos in my body has degenerated and the upper limit of divine cosmos force has decreased, I'm still in the 9th level of the divine cosmos realm. Don't underestimate my strength. What's the upper limit of your divine cosmos power? Asked Qin Yun. 400,000. After Luo Yaya finished speaking, she looked at Ba Taiyin and Monkey King and said, If they fight me one-on-one, they won't be able to defeat me. The Monkey King was very unconvinced, but he didn't say anything. Qin Yun did not doubt Luo Yaya's words. After all, this was the body of an upper-class person. Ignoring the upper limit of 400,000 divine cosmos power, his mental cosmos power and body were still very strong. Of course, Luo Yaya was not sure that she could defeat the Monkey King and Ba Taiyin. The 8th firmament of the divine space realm is the most crucial. If you have a good body at this stage, when you step into the 9th firmament of the divine space realm, the upper limit of the divine space force will explode. Luo Yaya said to Qin Yun, You should be at the 7th firmament of the divine space realm now, right? You're about to reach the 8th tier, so at that time, you have to seize the opportunity to erupt. Don't enter the 9th tier of the divine space realm too early. She could only sense that Qin Yun had 7 divine cosmic force children, but she didn't know what the upper limit of Qin Yun's divine cosmic force was. Are you a professional intelligence officer? Qin Yun asked. Yes, I am in charge of Her Royal Highness Shadow Pavilion, mainly responsible for spying on all kinds of information. Luo Yaya said, Her Royal Highness and I are like sisters, I will not betray her. She felt that Qin Yun was trying to instigate her rebellion. Qin Yun finally understood why Luo Yaya had sworn that if Qin Yun dared to touch her, Princess Luo Shu would definitely take action within 3 days. Although he did not know why he did not make a move, Luo Yaya certainly did not have any complaints. After all, sometimes the overall situation was the most important. You are in charge of such important intelligence work, but you are not calm enough. Your previous performances made me feel that you are rather childish, said Qin Yun with a smile. Humph. Luo Yaya did not refute because it was true. In fact, it was mainly because she had underestimated the enemy, and did not know that the situation had changed so quickly. I won't let you betray your princess. I just want to obtain some information from you, or perhaps we can exchange information. This is also beneficial to you, isn't it? Qin Yun was not sure if his face could be exchanged for Luo Yaya's trust. Now, he also wanted to try and see if what the 9 Yang Dharma spirits said was true, and if his handsome face was really so magical that it could win the favor of women. I have to discuss it with Her Royal Highness. Luo Yaya did not agree, but she felt that it was feasible, but she could not make the decision herself. Can I ask you about the Taisher powers? Qin Yun asked again. This was very important. He did not know much about the Taisher powers, but these Taisher powers had deep connections with the empires of the various universes. This is a top secret, I can't tell you. Unless Her Royal Highness agrees. After Luo Yaya finished speaking, she asked, It's time for me to ask you a question. Your relationship with the Divine Moon Clan is not ordinary. What exactly is it? If I said that I am the Divine Moon Clan's emperor, would you believe me? Qin Yun said with a smile. I believe you. Luo Yaya was somewhat surprised, but she nodded and said, Her Royal Highness needs the cooperation of the Divine Moon Clan, but the Divine Moon Clan has already walked together with the Phoenix Kingdom. If the benefits are great enough, the Divine Moon Clan can cooperate with your princess at the same time. Qin Yun said. No way. Luo Yaya shook her head. Her Royal Highness and the Phoenix Queen have different Taisher powers behind them, and they are hostile to each other. I was the one who told the Divine Moon Clan to make contact with the Phoenix Kingdom. Qin Yun said again. I can guess. Luo Yaya said. I can tell you that this step is very correct, but you have to be wary of the Taisher powers behind the Phoenix Kingdom. Qin Yun said. Can you tell me more about the Taisher powers? Luo Yaya shook her head and said, I can only tell you that the Taisher powers are not good things, but our empire needs the Taisher powers, and the Taisher powers also need our empire. We and the Taisher powers have always been in a cooperative relationship. However, the Taisher powers are trying to drive a wedge between the empire and the kingdom and want to disintegrate us. I understand. I will pay attention to the Taisher powers. Qin Yun struck his heart. He had to inform Yushang Yun as soon as possible. Qin Yun, after the Strange Cat Kingdom's fleet attacks, you can contact me at any time. Luo Yaya took out a talisman and handed it to Qin Yun. Burn this talisman and I will know where you are. You all think that I can't stop the Strange Cat King's fleet? Qin Yun took the talisman and said with a smile. Yes. You will definitely lose, and the Golden Claw Treasure Land will definitely be flattened, but we believe that you will definitely be able to escape alive. Luo Yaya said. Qin Yun took out the Divine King Heavenly Seal, causing Luo Yaya to suddenly retreat in fear. She is obviously somewhat afraid of the Divine King Heavenly Seal. What do you want to do? Luo Yaya said in horror. I just want to thank you. My Divine King Heavenly Seal can make you a bit stronger. Qin Yun said, because you are rather special, it will require a rather complicated process. You will also need to sign a soul contract with me that you are not allowed to harm me. Forget it, I don't need it. I have already reached my limit, there is no way to make me stronger. Luo Yaya said, Goodbye. Alright. Goodbye. Qin Yun immediately returned to the Golden Claw Treasure Land to analyze the Scorpio Kingdom's information. Luo Yaya has already left. She is in a hurry to return and report the process of her meeting with Qin Yun. Because she discovered that Qin Yun already knows about the Taisher powers. Maybe he has come into contact with them. Half an hour after Qin Yun returned to the Golden Claw Treasure Land, a series of rumbling sounds came from outside the Treasure Land's barrier. The entire barrier is fluctuating. Someone is attacking the barrier. Boss, it's the Scorpio people. There are quite a few of them, a total of 300, and they are all very strong. Ba Tain said from outside. 300? If we send 600 Divine King warriors, can we defeat them? Qin Yun asked. I don't dare to be certain, they are most likely at the level of the Paragon army. Ba Tain said, Boss, you should personally go and take a look. Not long after Qin Yun obtained the Scorpio Kingdom's information, the Scorpio people came knocking on his door. But no matter what, he must capture the Scorpio people and research them. The poison on the Scorpio people's body is very strong. He must research how to resist their poison. Chapter 31-35. There were only 300 scorpions here. If they all had the same strength as the Balong army, it would be very difficult to defeat them. Therefore, Tianba was a little anxious. The Scorpio people had suddenly attacked the Golden Claw treasure land, and it was very likely that they were testing the defensive strength of the Golden Claw treasure land. Although the number of divine monarch warriors in the Golden Claw treasure land has increased, their strength has not reached the level of the dominant dragon army. Even if all the God King warriors in the Golden Claw treasure land were mobilized, they wouldn't be able to take down all the Scorpios outside. The divine space force of the Scorpio people outside should be at the level of the dominant dragon army. They used to be above the 9th level of the divine space realm, but their cultivation has regressed. Before Qin Yun came to the edge of the barrier, he could already tell what was happening outside. The 300 Sky Scorpion warriors were frantically attacking the barrier of the Golden Claw treasure land. Fortunately, the barrier had been reinforced by the Heavenly Law altar. Otherwise, it wouldn't have lasted for long. The so-called dominant dragon's army rank was a rank that had once surpassed the 9th tier of the divine space realm. Later, after their cultivation had regressed, their divine space force and the divine space in their bodies had remained at the 9th tier of the divine space realm, but their physical body and mental force had not regressed. The cultivation of the experts from the empires and kingdoms would fall back to the 9th level of the divine space realm after the power in their bodies was taken back by the universal Dharma spirit. Therefore, Qin Yun and the others will have to face even more warriors of this level in the future. Boss, their equipment shouldn't be as good as the Balong army. Ba Tian said. Their upper body is naked, and their lower body is that of a scorpion, and they have natural armor. I wonder if they will wear armor when they fight. Although the equipment from the kingdom couldn't compare to the equipment from the empire, it couldn't be underestimated. Qin Yun took out a pearl and injected his mental power into it. Then he shot it towards the Golden Claw treasure land's Heavenly Dao altar and contacted Tian Dao Zi inside. The scorpions are attacking our barrier. Can you stop them? Qin Yun asked. Of course I can. Even if it's 10 times stronger, I can still withstand it. Tian Dao Zi smiled confidently and said, Master Qin, don't underestimate my ability. Tian Dao Zi, don't brag at this time. Qin Yun doesn't really believe Tian Dao Zi's words. My heavenly altar is also a treasure ground, a movable treasure ground. The 9 Yang Law Spirit has taken special care of me. Although I can't contact him now, he has always been helping my altar become stronger. Tian Dao Zi said. Qin Yun is rather surprised. The 9 Yang Dharma spirit had actually modified the Heavenly Dao altar. If that was the case, then Tian Daozi's words are rather trustworthy. Not long after, Qin Yun and Ba Tian arrived at the edge of the barrier. The Scorpio people were attacking the barrier crazily. The Monkey King's eyes were burning with anger. It tightly held onto the stick, itching to rush out and fight. Qin Yun released his Heavenly Eye avatar and enveloped a large area outside. He discovered that there are other Scorpio people floating in the air. Moreover, they are holding a crystal pearl in their hands. It seems like they are recording the 300 Scorpio warriors attacking the Golden Claw treasure land. The Scorpio kingdom should be using the magic mirror now. Qin Yun frowned. Are they going to broadcast the process of the scorpions attacking the Golden Claw treasure land in real time? Luo Yaya had said before that the magic mirror array had been completed, and it had covered the entire divine wilderness. It was not surprising that the upper echelons of the empires and kingdoms could use the magic mirror. They are indeed probing our defenses. Qin Yun said, Brother Ba, transfer 200 divine king warriors over. Boss, it's only 200? Is it enough? Ba Tian said in surprise. Although the Scorpio people outside did not have any equipment, their bodies were very strong. Their divine universe heavenly bones had all been strengthened. Moreover, they used to be in the middle of the 9th level of the divine space realm. It's enough, Qin Yun said. These 200 divine king warriors will go out and collect the corpses of the 300 Scorpio people. Do you think it's enough? Ba Taiyin and the Monkey King were stunned. The 200 divine king warriors were going to collect the corpses? Then how were they going to kill the 300 Scorpio warriors outside? They did not doubt Qin Yun's words at all. They just wanted to know how Qin Yun was going to kill the 300 Scorpio warriors outside. Ba Taiyin immediately went to transfer the divine king warriors. In a very secret mountain range in the divine wilderness, inside a mountain cave, there was a spacious, comfortable, and gorgeous stone room. There was a woman sitting cross-legged on a bed in the stone room. It was Princess Luo Shu. She was wearing a mask and looking at a very large magic mirror in front of her. The mirror showed the gate of the Golden Claw Treasure Land, where 300 Scorpio warriors were attacking. Luoya stood beside the bed and said in low voice, "Princess sister, that is Qin Yun. He doesn't seem to be anxious at all. It's this guy who called me a slut?" Princess Luo Shu's voice was very light and very cold. She should have been very angry when she said those words. However, no one could feel that she was angry. It was as if she was not angry at all. Originally, Qin Yun told Luoya to go back and tell that slut Princess Luo Shu. He did not expect that Luoya would actually tell the whole process to Princess Luo Shu. "I just gave him the information about the Scorpio Kingdom in the Divine Wilderness. I didn't expect that the Scorpio warriors would come knocking on my door," Princess Luoya said. "Princess sister, do you think he can block these 300 Scorpio warriors? I don't know. The method he used in the Divine Wilderness is very strange. Without being there, it is impossible to see what kind of move he used." Princess Luo Shu shook her head. "Of course he can hold on. Is it the Crown Prince who told the Scorpio Kingdom to attack the Golden Claw Treasure Land?" Luoya said with a frown. "Didn't the Crown Prince say that he won't make a move against Qin Yun in a short period of time? The Crown Prince's energy is focused on the 9-Sun Holy Land. It is the Scorpio King's own action. He wants to take down the Golden Claw Treasure Land before the Strange Cat King attacks it. Moreover, the whole process will be broadcast in real time. It is to attract attention, to make the Crown Prince have a whole new level of respect for him, or to make the Taisher powers pay attention to him," Luoya said. "Also, this can indirectly humiliate the Strange Cat King. The Strange Cat King needs to gather a fleet to attack. But the Scorpio King only needs to send out 300 Scorpio warriors to flatten the Golden Claw Treasure Land. It can let the Scorpio Kingdom be in the limelight and also conveniently trample on the Strange Cat King. We will just watch. If Qin Yun can't even block these trifling 300 Scorpio warriors, then he is not worthy to cooperate with me," Princess Luo Shu said. "The Scorpio warriors are all middle-level people. They used to surpass the 9th level of the divine space realm. Although their cultivation has regressed to the 9th level of the divine space realm, they are far from being comparable to the lower-level people," Luoya said. Princess Luo Shu said faintly, "Yaya, if the Golden Claw Treasure Land is attacked, you must quickly go and save Qin Yun. He is the emperor of the Divine Moon Clan. After we save him, it is equivalent to the Divine Moon Clan owing us a favor." "Yes." Luoya nodded and said. In the pitch-black deep space, tens of thousands of thousand-meter-long black battleships are slowly flying towards the Divine Wilderness. The Strange Cat King is inside the largest battleship, looking at a large mirror. It is the scene of the 300 Scorpio warriors attacking the Golden Claw Treasure Land. Chapter 31-36. King, are these Scorpio people indirectly mocking us? After a general saw this, he said angrily, "Everyone knows that Qin Yun is the enemy of our Cat Kingdom. Only our Cat Kingdom is allowed to destroy him. Is the Scorpio people trying to snatch Qin Yun?" Cat King sneered. What are you afraid of? Not more than half of this group of Scorpio people can survive. The general said in astonishment. King, those 300 Scorpio people seem to be true middle-class people. That is the level of the tyrant dragon army. 300 warriors of this level. Is it enough to take down the Golden Claw treasure land? Have you forgotten how our avatars were killed back then? Qin Yun is very crafty. He was born in the Divine Desolate and is very familiar with the various power laws of the Divine Desolate. No matter what, we can't underestimate Qin Yun, Cat King said solemnly. He is an opponent worth paying attention to. But Qin Yun shouldn't have so many powerful warriors in his hands, right? The warriors that the 9 Dragon Kingdom gave him are all trash. They only have good equipment. The general still doesn't think that Qin Yun can win. Back then we had a 1,000,000-strong army, but what happened in the end? They were all killed by Qin Yun with 200 to 300 people. Cat King snorted. This matter happened not long ago and you have already forgotten? Is it because your avatars were not dismembered that you didn't remember this matter? Oddity Cat King's doppelganger had been cut down by Meng Kai. This was the greatest humiliation to Oddity Cat King. King, why don't we immediately attack and take down Qin Yun before the Scorpio people? The general said. No, we still have many people whose power has not been taken back by the universe law spirit. Only when all of them are taken back can we enter the Divine Desolate. We will first bide our time and wait for Qin Yun to deal with the Scorpio people. The Scorpio people are stronger than us, but they are more arrogant than us. This time, they even spread the news of them attacking the Golden Claw treasure land with great fanfare. If they lose, they will definitely attack the Golden Claw treasure land. With Qin Yun's character, how can he let the provocation of the Scorpio Kingdom go? He will definitely not let the Scorpio Kingdom have an easy time. At that time, he will make the Scorpio Kingdom lose face. The Scorpio Kingdom is stronger than our Cat Kingdom, but they will still suffer a great loss. When the Scorpio Kingdom is half destroyed by Qin Yun's torment, our fleet will launch a large-scale attack and flatten all of Qin Yun's treasure lands. This way, we will be able to completely wipe away our previous humiliation. Occult Cat King said. Your Majesty is wise. The general said with smile. Then we wish Qin Yun victory this time. The myriad heavens divine wilderness was a huge desert that was covered by a faint golden light barrier. This desert was full of treasures, and in the center of the desert was a very beautiful oasis. Such a huge treasure trove was the territory of the Phoenix Kingdom. The treasured land originally belonged to a powerful clan. The Phoenix Kingdom traded for the right to enter this treasured land. With the help of the Phoenix Kingdom, the powerful clans in the treasure lands could also become stronger. They had a cooperative relationship with the Phoenix Kingdom. Yu Shangyun was with the Phoenix Queen in the palace of the Phoenix capital city. The Phoenix Queen was very beautiful. In terms of appearance, Yu Shangyun was not inferior to her. It was just that her aura was not as strong as the Phoenix Queen's. After all, the Phoenix Queen was the king of the middle class. Furthermore, she was not afraid of the Empire. This is the magic mirror sent by the great Luo Empire. This thing should have been here in the myriad heavens divine wilderness before, right? The Phoenix Queen looked at a large mirror and then took out a large box. Phoenix Queen, you must be careful when using it. This kind of mirror can steal a large amount of information. Yu Shangyun warned. I won't use it often. The Phoenix Queen laughed and said, Look at this big mirror, the Scorpio people are attacking the Golden Claw treasure lands. The Scorpio King just contacted me and told me to pay more attention. He wants me to see how they attack the Golden Claw treasure land. Yu Shangyun looked at the big mirror. Following the Phoenix Queen's control, the scene gradually pulled in. She also saw Qin Yun and could not help but worry. Is this the Divine Moon Clan's clan emperor? The Phoenix Queen also saw Qin Yun. He is my Divine Moon Clan's emperor. Yu Shangyun said, What is the purpose of the Scorpio people doing this? They want to capture Qin Yun and obtain the Divine King's heavenly seal. Then, they will sit and wait for the Grand Primes to come into contact with them. Then, they will step on the Cat Kingdom. The Phoenix Queen said, "Can your clan emperor block these 300 Scorpio warriors?" "Yes," Yu Shangyun said with certainty because she could see that Qin Yun was very calm. "To be honest, whether it is the Scorpio Kingdom or the Cat Kingdom, if they attack us with all their might, I might not be able to block them." The Phoenix Queen said, "According to the information I obtained, the Cat King's 13,000 battleships are in deep space, very close to the myriad heaven's divine wilderness." Yu Shangyun said, "He has a way to block all of this." "Shangyun, I really don't understand why you would give yourself to Qin Yun. Although you are not strong yet, you are the 9 heavens goddess. You are equivalent to the daughter of the universe's law spirit." The Phoenix Queen said, "Your identity is something that even Princess Luo Shu and I are envious of." Yu Shangyun did not say anything. She only looked at the big mirror, hoping to see Qin Yun win. Qin Yun doesn't know who is watching, but no matter who is watching, they can't see what kind of method he will use to win. The 200 Divine King warriors have already blocked and are standing behind Qin Yun. The 300 Scorpio warriors outside the barrier are crazily attacking the barrier. After being attacked by them, the barrier's energy barrier clearly became weaker and weaker. It seems like it will be broken through very soon. Qin Yun took out the Heaven-Leaping Shuttle and used it to head to the top of the Heavenly Tao altar. "Heavenly Daozi, I want to use the 9-Sun World Extermination Scripture and borrow the power of the altar. Is there a problem?" Qin Yun asked. "No problem. You don't need to use any power. You just need to use the 9-Sun World Extermination Scripture and trigger the energy of the altar and Golden Claw Treasure Land. It will be enough to kill those guys outside." Heavenly Daozi said with smile. "Can it be used with the barrier?" Qin Yun said again, "When I use the 9-Sun World Extermination Scripture's power, it will produce a very strong devouring power. Those guys are attacking the barrier, it will devour them." "Of course, let's begin immediately." Heavenly Daozi is also impatient, because only at this kind of time can he grasp the most formidable power. Qin Yun immediately circulated the 9-Sun World Extermination Scripture. He is only using the Nether Sun technique. Suddenly, black gas appeared on the barrier of Golden Claw Treasure Land. Then, it produced a strong devouring power and crazily devoured the energy of the outside world. The Scorpio warriors who were crazily attacking the barrier of Golden Claw Treasure Land were suddenly sucked in by the strong devouring power and stuck to the barrier. The divine cosmic power in their bodies is being crazily extracted. The 300 Scorpio warriors lined up neatly, their bodies stuck to the barrier, unable to move. When Ba Taiyin and the others saw this, they immediately became excited. They immediately gave the order to use weapons to attack the Scorpio warriors through the barrier. Try not to destroy the divine cosmic power in the Scorpio warriors. It is a good material for making super strength storing pearls. Ba Taiyin shouted. Chapter 31-37. In the eyes of empires and kingdoms, Golden Claw Treasure Land is no different from other treasure lands. Even if it is protected by a powerful barrier, as long as it is attacked fiercely, it will be breached. Golden Claw Treasure Land suddenly has a Heavenly Tao altar, but nobody knows what kind of power it can bring. The arrogant Scorpio people don't care about the Heavenly Tao altar at all, because in their homeland, there is a building even more magnificent than the Heavenly Tao altar. Scorpio people believe that they will capture Golden Claw Treasure Land very soon and broadcast the whole process through the magic mirror. But now those Scorpio people are stuck on the barrier like bugs, as if they are stuck in a spider web, their bodies are stuck to the barrier, unable to move. Divine King warriors are standing inside the barrier. Their weapons can attack from inside the barrier, so they can easily pierce through the Scorpio people's bodies. Scorpio people are really arrogant. They don't even wear equipment, they just want to show off their formidable power and capture Golden Claw Treasure Land. Otherwise, the Divine King warriors won't be able to pierce through their bodies so easily. The big shots who saw this scene through the magic mirror are both shocked and ridiculed the Scorpio people. Scorpio people originally wanted to show off through the magic mirror, they didn't expect that they would lose so much face. The broadcast was quickly cut off. And now everyone knows that the Scorpio people's attack on Golden Claw Treasure Land has completely failed. 300 strong Scorpio warriors have been killed while Qin Yun's side is completely unscathed. The Scorpio warriors' heads and limbs were chopped off, then the Divine King warriors ran out to collect the corpses. Their divine universe has been dug out and Qin Yun will make them into superpower storing pearls, which can hold hundreds of thousands of divine universe power. They are indeed very good materials. Even Ba Taiyin didn't expect that altar to be so powerful. When he saw Tian Daozi acting like a lunatic, he thought that he is an idiot with an abnormal brain. Now it seems that he must build a good relationship with Tian Daozi. Strange Cat King saw that all the Scorpio warriors have been killed and laughed loudly. Great, great! Next, Scorpio Kingdom will definitely attack Golden Claw Treasure Land even more urgently than us. Let them fight until both sides suffer. Your Majesty can predict that Qin Yun will be so powerful. Your Majesty is truly wise and mighty. The old general flattered and laughed. Let Scorpio Kingdom test Qin Yun's strength and force him to use all kinds of dirty tricks. This is very beneficial to us. Exotic Cat Monarch said, we just need to wait patiently. We will definitely eliminate Qin Yun and flatten the Golden Claw Treasure Land. The million-strong army was annihilated by Qin Yun and the Golden Claw Treasure Land was lost. This was Exotic Cat King's humiliation in the Divine Desolate and also the place where he fell. If he wanted to crawl out, he would have to kill Qin Yun and take back the Golden Claw Treasure Land. Pick yourself up from where you fell. Princess Luo Shu said in surprise. This Qin Yun, you really can't underestimate him. He actually blocked the attack of 300 Sky Scorpion warriors just like that. Sister Princess, doesn't that mean that he might be able to block Exotic Cat's fleet? Luo Yaya asked. I don't dare to make a conclusion now. Qin Yun is after all a godly king, and the godly king heavenly seal in his hands is extremely terrifying. Princess Luo Shu sighed and said, I hope he can continue living. The Scorpio Kingdom will definitely take revenge on him. Luo Yaya said with a frown, even if he can block the Scorpio Kingdom's revenge, he won't be able to block Exotic Cat's fleet. Princess Luo Shu said, I hope he can create a miracle. Isn't his divine moon race backed by the Phoenix Kingdom? I wonder if the Phoenix Queen will help? If there's a need, we'll help him secretly. Qin Yun killing the 300 Sky Scorpion warriors also surprised the Phoenix Queen. However, Yu Shangyun's heart did not fluctuate at all. In her opinion, this is a very normal thing. Shangyun, you really understand him very well. No wonder you made him the Divine Moon Race's clan emperor. The Phoenix Queen smiled lightly and said, I hope this clan emperor doesn't use the Divine Moon Race's power. Otherwise, I will be dragged into it. Queen, if the Divine Moon Race helps Qin Yun and needs your help, will you help? Yu Shangyun asked. Of course I will. This is the basis of the cooperation between my Phoenix Kingdom and the Divine Moon Race. We help each other. The Phoenix Queen smiled and said, but I don't want to participate in his battle. Yu Shangyun nodded. Qin Yun obtained many Sky Scorpion corpses. He immediately began researching them. Through the Divine King Heavenly Seal and Primal Beginning Divine Mirror, he analyzed the poison power inside their bodies. That poison is very dangerous. Xie Wufeng, Divine Chief, and the others were all poisoned by that poison power, and it was very troublesome. And this time the Sky Scorpion people are very strong. Their poison power is even stronger. If a divine king warrior was poisoned by it, their flesh and blood might be corroded. Qin Yun used many steps, used many resources, cooperated with the divine king Heavenly Seal and the power of the bloodline Heavenly Rune Box, and finally concocted many medicinal liquids. After injecting these medicinal liquids into his body, his flesh and bones can resist the Sky Scorpion people's dreadful poison power. Qin Yun immediately called over the divine king warriors and asked Ba Taiying and the others to help. He injected the medicinal liquid into their bodies and fused it into their flesh and bones. Next, Qin Yun will bestow them the 5th generation bloodline Heavenly Rune. After the Divine King Heavenly Seal evolves, it can bestow the 5th generation bloodline Heavenly Rune. This will allow the Divine King Warrior's Divine Universe power to reach a higher upper limit and Divine Universe Heavenly Bone to strengthen even faster. Qin Yun personally went to the other 2 treasure lands to bestow the 5th generation bloodline Heavenly Rune on each of them. Then he went to the 2 lakes to strengthen the runes on the lake. This will allow Su Xiaoba, Xie Wufeng and Pippi Pig to become even stronger. Qin Yun did not use the Sky Scorpion people's bodies to create bloodline poison insect. Because Sky Scorpion people are experts in using poison, they are not afraid of poison. He used 300 Sky Scorpion people's bodies to conduct all kinds of tests to find their weak points. Sky Scorpion people are very afraid of flame. Especially the flame he extracted from the bloodline Heavenly Rune Box. It has a miraculous effect on the Sky Scorpion people's formidable body. For this reason, he refined the flame into a large number of pills and then placed them on the arrowheads. He prepared many bows and arrows for the Divine King warriors. Next, he will take the initiative to attack the Sky Scorpion people's occupied treasure lands. He will not wait for them to attack. And Wukong and Space God joined hands to build a teleportation formation. It can quickly teleport between the treasure lands and the Heaven Secrets sect's many spatial zones. This way, even if the treasure lands are lost, the people inside can quickly evacuate to the Heaven Secrets sect or the 4 Divine Sons. They won't be afraid of being attacked. 2 days passed by. Qin Yun has made sufficient preparations. Xie Wufeng, Su Xiaoba and Pippi Pig have all come out of the lake. Their overall strength has increased greatly. This caused Shimen Dezhuang to feel very depressed. If he had jumped into the lake with them, he would be as strong as Pippi Pig now. He is now a lot weaker than Pippi Pig. Chapter 31-38. Xie Wufeng and the others are as strong as the Monkey King, with 400,000 divine cosmos power. Compared to before, the increase is so huge that even they can't believe it is true. Qin Yun is also a bit depressed because he can't use this method to increase his power. Otherwise, he would have reached the 9th level of the Divine Space Realm long ago. Of course, using the Divine King Heavenly Seal to increase his power can increase his upper limit. According to Taisher's estimation, when he reaches the 9th level of the Divine Space Realm, his upper limit of Divine Cosmos power might reach 600,000 or even higher. The Divine King warriors in the other 2 treasure lands have returned to the Golden Claw treasure land. The people in charge of the 2 treasure lands were sent by the Divine Presiding. With Tian Dao Zi and the Divine Presiding guarding the Golden Claw treasure land, Qin Yun can rest assured. In the past 2 days, Qin Yun read the information Luo Ye gave him about the Scorpio people. They have already occupied 3 treasure lands, and they are all very large. The powerful tribes in these treasure lands are not enslaved by the Scorpio people, but killed and eaten by them. From Luo Ya's information, Qin Yun learned that the Scorpio people have a habit of not wearing armor, because they have armor on their lower body. Their upper body is human, so they are basically naked. Also, there are no women among the Scorpio people, they are all muscular males, and they reproduce by laying eggs. Qin Yun will bring 1,000 divine king warriors to battle this time, together with Xie Wufeng, Su Xiaoba, Pippi and the Monkey King. They will definitely be able to take the 3 treasure lands. After obtaining the treasure land, Qin Yun can use the lake in the treasure land to make more people stronger. The lakes of the dual heart race and the illusory pupil race have already been used once, so they can only be used again after a period of time. The divine universe golden stones in the 2 treasure lands were also being mined. As long as the myriad realms divine sun was still there and the boundary of the treasure lands was still there, even if the divine universe golden stones were mined out, they would grow again after a long time. This is the energy of the myriad worlds divine sun, so the lakes can be regenerated. Xie Wufeng and the others have 2 superpower storing pearls. One is filled with divine cosmos power, which can be used to replenish energy. The other is filled with a special flame, the bloodline heavenly pattern fire Qin Yun extracted from the bloodline heavenly pattern box. When this kind of flame entered the Scorpio people's bodies, it could quickly burn their bodies and make it difficult for them to circulate their divine cosmos power. The arrows of the other god king warriors all had these pills refined from flames on them. The Scorpions will attack the Golden Claw treasure land again very soon. We will take the 3 treasure lands by surprise before they come, Qin Yun said. Master, the Scorpio people are a kingdom. Do they only have 3 treasure lands? Su Xiaoba asked. In his opinion, with so many people, 3 treasure lands would not be enough for him to fight to his heart's content. Su Xiaoba and Monkey King are the same. After obtaining great power, they want to fight all day long. Their main treasure land is in the 9 Sun Sacred Ground. Qin Yun said, in the 9 Sun Sacred Ground, places that can be called treasure lands are all super large mines. The 9 Sun Sacred Ground had changed greatly. Qin Yun had not entered it for a period of time, but it had undergone earth-shattering changes. In the future, the changes would be even greater. It would be a place where empires and kingdoms would gather, and there would also be many barbarian tribes. Other than that, there were also powerful clans in the 9 Sun Sacred Ground. After the appearance of the 8th Divine Sun, the super-powerful clans that were born were mostly in the 9 Sun Sacred Ground. Those super-powerful clans joined together to form a very powerful force. Even empires and kingdoms would not dare to easily provoke these powerful clans. All of this was mentioned by Luo Yaya in the intelligence report. After knowing this, Qin Yun understood why Princess Luo Shu wanted to obtain the Divine King Heavenly Seal. Because the Divine King Heavenly Seal could summon all the clans in the Divine Desolate. After the appearance of the 90,000 Universe Divine Sun, even more powerful clans would appear in the 9 Sun Sacred Ground. If they could summon these powerful clans, they would truly be able to dominate the Divine Desolate. Everyone is ready, let's set off. Once we are strong enough, we will definitely enter the 9 Sun Sacred Ground. Qin Yun said. He took out the heaven-leaping shuttle and loaded everyone inside. After leaving the Golden Claw treasure land, he immediately traveled through space and arrived at a treasure land of the Scorpio people. Luo Yaya's intelligence report did not mention what kind of treasure land it was, because when she was collecting the information, the original powerful clans of the treasure land had already been exterminated. Qin Yun's heaven-leaping shuttle quickly arrived above the treasure land. He released several heavenly eye avatars to cover the entire treasure land and check the distribution of the Scorpio people inside the treasure land. Those mining are all Scorpio people. They are all trash of the Scorpio kingdom who have not reached the divine space realm at birth. There are a lot of them. There are a total of 20,000 Scorpio people mining. There are 1,000 regular warriors. Your arrows can be used to deal with those super warriors. Those mining trash can be easily killed, so there is no need to use bows and arrows. Qin Yun said. The Scorpio people are very arrogant and lazy, so they do not patrol. They believe that if there is an enemy, they can quickly annihilate the enemy. Qin Yun used the Divine King Heavenly Seal and the Primal Beginning Divine Mirror to open the entrance with great difficulty and let the Heaven Leaping Shuttle fly in. When the entrance was opened, it caused a lot of movement, causing the Scorpio warriors inside the treasure land to be vigilant. They do not have warriors of the level of the dominant dragon army. Qin Yun said. 1,000 Divine King warriors have already appeared in the sky. The Monkey King tightly grasped its long rod, came out of the heaven-leaping shuttle, landed on the ground and rushed into the group of Scorpio warriors. Su Xiaoba did not even use his weapon. He is just a bit slower than the Monkey King. Xie Wufeng and Ba Taiyin are beside Qin Yun to protect him. They did not go down to fight, they also don't need them. The weapons of the Divine King warriors have been infused with bloodline heavenly rune flame, so it is very easy for them to deal with the Scorpio warriors. The 1,000 regular Scorpio warriors were very quickly swept away by the Divine King warriors. Qin Yun landed on the battlefield, waved his hand and stored all the corpses into the Nether Sun Pearl. Although the Scorpio warriors are poisonous, Xiao Hua is here. Moreover, Ling Yuner and the others have been infused with that kind of medicinal liquid, so they are not afraid of the poison. Furthermore, Zi Qingqing and Shui Tianzi made a special large furnace and placed the corpses on it. Then Yang Yang will spit out fire and burn the corpses. In the end, only the Divine Universe Heavenly Bone will be left. Next, it is time to kill the 20,000 Scorpio people who are mining. These 20,000 Scorpio people participated in the slaughter of the powerful races in this treasure land. They did not expect that not long after, it will be their turn to be slaughtered. In just 2 hours, Qin Yun took down the treasure land and controlled the barrier around it. He called over the Divine Inscription Gate's Vice-Sect Master Xiao Hua and asked him to strengthen the barrier of the treasure land. He also asked An Wukong and Space God to come and set up a teleportation formation. The more treasure lands there are, the more Divine Universe Golden Stones he will be able to obtain in the future. Qin Yun already has several treasure lands in his hands. He will be able to obtain a large amount of Divine Universe Golden Stones very soon. We will take over 3 treasure lands of the Scorpio Kingdom in one night. Qin Yun started the heaven-leaping shuttle and headed towards the next treasure land occupied by the Scorpio people. Chapter 31-39. Although the Scorpio Kingdom and the Exotic Cat Kingdom cooperated with the Crown Prince, their relationship was not good. The current Crown Prince of Great Luo did not need the support of other kingdoms. Therefore, if the Scorpio Kingdom fought with Qin Yun and suffered a crushing defeat, the Crown Prince of Great Luo would not send troops. Therefore, the Scorpio Kingdom would not have any help. Qin Yun learned about this from Luo Yaya's information, but he did not completely agree with it. According to his understanding, although these kingdoms had always been suppressed by the empires, they had developed for many years and had a strong foundation. Even the empires could not destroy these kingdoms in a short period of time. These kingdoms had a certain amount of strength, and it was very likely that the Taisher factions would come into contact with them to make use of the power of these kingdoms. The Taisher factions lacked manpower and the kingdoms had a large number of troops. It was most suitable for the Taisher factions to cooperate with the kingdoms or empires. At night, Qin Yun used the heaven-leaping shuttle to quickly reach the treasured lands occupied by the Scorpio Kingdom. He just finished attacking one and let the soldiers rest for a while before immediately attacking the second one. Not long after, he took down the second treasure land occupied by the Scorpio Kingdom. The inscription masters of the Inscription Gate were still in the previous treasure land. After they reinforced the barrier of the treasure land, they would come over. And Wukong, the god of space, and many elders of the alien void tribe followed Qin Yun. After taking down a treasure land, they quickly built a teleportation formation in that treasure land. These treasure lands were not guarded by the powerful Scorpio soldiers. The powerful Scorpio soldiers had all been transferred to the Nine-Sun Sacred Land. For the empires and kingdoms, the powerful soldiers should go to the Nine-Sun Sacred Land. Staying outside was a waste. The Nine-Sun Sacred Land was very rich in resources, but Qin Yun was not in a hurry. He planned to completely control the outside world and eradicate the tyrannical kingdoms and empires outside. It would not be too late to enter the Nine-Sun Sacred Land after that. In one night, the 3 treasure lands of the Scorpio Kingdom were taken down by Qin Yun and the Divine King Army. This news only reached the Scorpio Kingdom at daybreak. They did not expect that Qin Yun would take the initiative to attack their Scorpio Kingdom. Did he want to start a war with the Scorpio Kingdom? The Scorpio Kingdom failed to attack the Golden Claw Treasure Land and made a fool of themselves. They were thinking about how to regain their face, but they did not expect to lose 3 treasure lands. After capturing those 3 treasure lands, Qin Yun collected over 10,000 Divine Universe Gold Stones. He took out half of them for the God King warriors to cultivate. They needed to consume a massive amount of Divine Universe Gold Stones to strengthen their own Divine Universe Heavenly Bone. Qin Yun had previously used up all the Divine Universe Gold Stones he had while cultivating. Now, he had earned another 500 billion, and there would be even more in the future. Apart from the Golden Claw Treasure Land's Divine Cosmos Goldstone, the other 5 treasure lands had already started mining the Divine Cosmos Goldstone. Every once in a while, Qin Yun would be able to collect a large number of Divine Universe Goldstones. It was temporarily enough for him to cultivate and also enough for the God King army to strengthen the Divine Universe Heavenly Bone. Su Xiaoba and the Monkey King used a lot of strength. They fought to their heart's content, but they are also very tired. After returning, they found a place to sleep. Killing a large number of Scorpios also allowed Qin Yun to obtain a large number of Divine Universe Heavenly Bones. He still had over 3 million genes of Divine Universe Heavenly Bone in his hand. However, this was far from enough for him. Inside the Golden Claw Treasure Land, the Divine Mountain of Inscription had already arrived. The 9-Yang Divine Palace and the Imperial Heaven Pawnshop were both in the Golden Claw Treasure Land. Qin Yun took out many blueprints and had them cooperate with each other to create a large number of cannons with Divine Universe Heavenly Bones. It is impossible to create a fleet in a short period of time, so the next step is to focus on defense. Before, Qin Yun entrusted Long Jinchuan to have the 9 Dragon Kingdoms refiners use a large number of Divine Universe Heavenly Bones to create 10 furnaces. These furnaces are 2 meters tall and each one is made from 20,000 genes of Divine Universe Heavenly Bones. They are very sturdy. Now, Long Jinchuan has sent people to deliver the furnaces. Qin Yun used the God King Heavenly Seal and Primal Beginning Divine Mirror, then imprinted a large number of formidable heavenly runes into the furnaces. He also used the God King Heavenly Seal to bestow the furnaces with abilities. After Qin Yun carved runes into these furnaces, they possess the formidable abilities of the Pill Transformation Heavenly Furnace. Of course, these furnaces do not refine pills but cannonballs or bullet. Although these furnaces cannot compare to the Pill Transformation Heavenly Furnace, they are more than enough to refine cannonballs. The explosive materials for the cannonballs are flames refined from the Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box by Qin Yun, as well as a very strong explosive power. He refined a lot of them and gave them to Xiao Hua so that Xiao Hua can arrange for inscription masters to refine them into cannonballs. The Golden Claw Treasure Land and the other 5 treasure lands are enough to operate 10 furnaces to refine cannonballs. The energy in these treasure lands is very important, so Qin Yun attaches great importance to it. He made the inscription gate strengthen the barrier around the treasure land. Next, Qin Yun frantically made awakening talismans. These are the awakening talismans for the 5th generation Bloodline Heavenly Pattern. Although they are called awakening talismans, the Bloodline Heavenly Pattern can be said to be bestowed by Qin Yun. Qin Yun wants to let Divine Judge, White Death, and the other patriarchs of the various clans choose the most outstanding warriors from their clans. He wants to let some of them obtain the 5th generation bloodline heavenly pattern first. He wants to gather 30,000 warriors with the 5th generation bloodline heavenly pattern first. These warriors will be equipped with sturdy armor and all kinds of cannons. Even if they face the warriors from the various kingdoms, they will not be afraid. The warriors of the empires and kingdoms are all equipped with sturdy armor. In addition, they are all temporarily above the 9th level divine space realm. But now their cultivation has regressed. If they fight in close combat against these warriors, they will suffer great losses, unless they have a strong enough body and high enough divine cosmos power. Therefore, Qin Yun wants to fight from a distance. He will use cannons to break through the enemy's defense without consuming the warrior's divine cosmos power. Then he will get close and reap the harvest. Qin Yun has many bloodline heavenly pattern boxes. By refining the energy of these boxes, he can make the cannonballs and bullets even more powerful. A small part of the power of the bloodline heavenly pattern box has already been excavated by Qin Yun. When used together with the Divine King Heavenly Seal, the effect is the best. Long Shu has already mastered the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra. She came to the Golden Claw Treasure Land from Divine Moon Clan with Long Qiaofeng, Long Yuqing, and Long Tianji. Since she cultivates the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra, she naturally wants to find Qin Yun to test out other technique. She has been longing for it ever since she started learning the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra. After Long Shu tormented Qin Yun in all kinds of ways, she finally entered the Golden Claw Treasure Land's lake with satisfaction. Long Qiaofeng, Long Yuqing, and Long Tianji also entered the lake and began the transformation process. Moreover, they are also operating the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra under the lake. Qin Yun just took down 3 treasure lands. He can let people go down and cultivate to become stronger. These 3 treasure lands are all similar to the Golden Claw Treasure Land. The lake inside the treasure lands is very big. It is not a problem for 3 people to go down at once. Qin Yun let Qin Zhong, Qin Yi, and Qin Qing enter one of the treasure lands. They are all upper echelons of the empire. Their foundation is very good. They can become even stronger. Chapter 3140. Qin Yun needed people who could fight. Therefore, it was best for people who entered the lake to become stronger to be battle maniac. It's best if it has the ability to cause mass destruction. Taisher suggested, that kind of lake has great potential. After entering the lake, it is equivalent to absorbing the energy of the entire treasure land to transform it. At the same time, there is also the help of the myriad worlds divine Sunday. Qin Yun thought for a moment and quickly recalled his Sky Universe Overlord and Divine Inscription Mountain. The Divine Rune Mountain is in the Golden Claw Treasure Land. Not only can this mountain transform, it also possesses all kinds of abilities. Inside the Divine Inscription Mountain, there are many spaces. It can be said that it is a treasure mountain comparable to the Heavenly Law Altar. Let Inscription Divine Mountain and Sky Universe Overlord enter. If Sky Universe Overlord and Sky Universe Overlord are strong enough, they will be able to cause large-scale destruction to all kinds of armies. Qin Yun said. With the help of the little black donkey, it could even transform into the black tortoise, possessing an extremely strong defense. There was also an azure dragon inside the Divine Mountain. When needed, the Divine Mountain could also turn into an azure dragon. Although Qin Yun was not in the Divine Inscription Mountain, he would occasionally go and learn about the situation of the Divine Inscription Mountain. Furthermore, Shiman Dezhuang was often at the Divine Inscription Mountain. When he saw Qin Yun, he would talk non-stop about the situation of the Divine Inscription Mountain. Old Mountain, the Divine Inscription Mountain might need to go out to fight. Are you still used to using the Divine Inscription Mountain to fight? Qin Yun entered the Divine Inscription Mountain. There was not much change inside. It filled Qin Yun with many beautiful memories. No problem, the Divine Inscription Mountain has many secret weapons. The mountain god's head drilled out from a large rock. That large rock is his throne. 500,000 genes of Divine Universe Heavenly Bone can be fused into the Inscription Divine Mountain in a short period of time. It can make the Inscription Divine Mountain even stronger. Qin Yun said, in the future, the Inscription Divine Mountain will have to face the warships of the kingdom. 500,000 genes of Divine Universe Heaven Bone? It's enough, it's enough. Mountain God took a deep breath and said with smile, Sect Master, don't forget the ability of the Divine Mountain. The devouring ability of the Divine Mountain was extremely terrifying. Qin Yun immediately brought the Divine Inscription Mountain and entered a large lake in a treasure land. Then, he went to another treasure land. This time, he placed the Sky Universe Overlord as well as 500,000 Divine Universe Heavenly Bones. The Celestial Universe Overlord that had been strengthened by 500,000 Divine Universe Heavenly Bones combined with the Divine Tool in Qin Yun's hands would be able to destroy that sort of battleship. 7 days have passed since Qin Yun captured the 3 treasure lands of Scorpio Kingdom. In the past 7 days the news had spread everywhere. However, all the treasured lands under Qin Yun's control were very quiet. No Scorpios came to attack. The Scorpions had suffered a crushing defeat when they attacked the Golden Claw treasure land and lost 3 treasure lands, but now they didn't do anything else. Many people were not surprised because it was very likely that the Scorpio Kingdom was mobilizing its army to wipe out all of Qin Yun's treasure lands. Luoyaya is just outside the Golden Claw treasure land. When Qin Yun learned of her arrival, he immediately went out with Ba Tien and Monkey King. Missy, what intelligence did you bring this time? Asked Qin Yun with a smile. Luoyaya was still the same. She did not take off her mask and she looked cold. She took out a small booklet and handed it to Qin Yun. She said, the Scorpio Kingdom's movements are not small. They are currently gathering their army, but they are not attacking your treasured land. I have been waiting for them for the past few days. Qin Yun was somewhat surprised. The kingdoms and empires are mainly concentrated in the 9-Sun Holy Land. Luoyaya said, the Divine Desolate has been expanding, and the 9-Sun Holy Land is also expanding. Moreover, the huge passage in the center of the 9-Sun Holy Land is crazily devouring the energy of other universes. In that case, the empires and kingdoms of other universes entered the Divine Desolate through that passage, right? Said Qin Yun. Not only that, after the fusion of multiple universes, the myriad worlds Divine Sun and the Divine Desolate will obtain the energy of multiple universes. Luoyaya said, the majority of the power that the other universes take back from living beings will become very powerful. They will make the myriad worlds Divine Sun even stronger. Qin Yun said with a bitter smile, what's the use of the myriad worlds Divine Sun becoming stronger? We will forever be limited to the Divine Space Realm. Although we are all limited to the Divine Space Realm, we can use large amounts of resources to make ourselves stronger and constantly surpass our limit. Luoyaya said, Qin Yun, although the Scorpio Kingdom does not plan to take revenge now, you must guard against them. What about the Taisher forces? Will the Taisher forces target me? Qin Yun asked. They are very arrogant, they don't put anyone in their eyes. Unless you provoke them, they will not personally take action. At most, they will borrow the hands of others to deal with you. Luoyaya said. Is there any movement from Strange Cat King's side? Qin Yun asked. Strange Cat King's battleships are in the dark distant sky. Some of them have entered the 9-Sun Holy Land, but most of them are still in the distant sky. They are waiting for their power to be taken back by the universe's law spirit, then they will find a good opportunity to attack the Golden Claw treasure land. Luoyaya said. After all, she is responsible for gathering intelligence by Princess Luo Shu's side. She is originally a person of the Empire, so it is very easy for her to gather intelligence about the kingdom. Many thanks for Sister Yaya's information, Qin Yun said with a smile. How should I thank you? No need to thank me. Goodbye. Luo Yaya finished speaking, then turned around and left. Qin Yun originally wanted to say a few more words to her, but she said she would leave. Qin Yun looked at the booklet Luo Yaya gave him. It has detailed records of the movements of several armies of the Scorpio Kingdom. Those armies are quite far away from the Golden Claw Treasure Land. There is no army of the Scorpio Kingdom near the Golden Claw Treasure Land. Has the Scorpio Kingdom really given up on attacking the Golden Claw Treasure Land? Qin Yun said with a frown, this won't do. If they don't attack the Golden Claw Treasure Land, where can I go to find the Divine Universe Heavenly Bone? Although he obtained a lot of Divine Universe Heavenly Bones before, he used them very quickly. He flipped through the booklet and discovered that the army of the Scorpio Kingdom is very close to the army of the Great Luo Empire. It is very likely that the Scorpio Kingdom is responsible for supporting the army of the Great Luo Empire. Could it be that the Great Luo Empire discovered something? But they are not in the Nine Sun Holy Land. Qin Yun felt that it is somewhat strange. He can determine that the goal of the Scorpio Kingdom and the Great Luo Empire is the same. The army of the Scorpio Kingdom is very far away from the Golden Claw Treasure Land, but it is very easy for me to go there. I will bring some people to harass them, provoke them and make them come all the way here to attack the Golden Claw Treasure Land. When the army of the Scorpio Kingdom arrived near the Golden Claw Treasure Land, Qin Yun's side is almost ready. Qin Yun learned from Luo Yaya's information that Strange Cat King is waiting for an opportunity to attack, and he began thinking about how to disrupt Strange Cat King's plan and force him to dispatch a part of his fleet in a situation where he is unprepared. This requires the cooperation of the Scorpio Kingdom. Chapter 31-41. Qin Yun became very anxious when he learned that the Scorpio Kingdom had no intention of attacking the Golden Claw Treasure Land. He needed a large number of Divine Universe Heavenly Bones, and he also needed the Exotic Cat Kingdom to know that he had started a war with the Scorpio Kingdom. If the Exotic Cat King knew that Qin Yun and the Scorpio Kingdom both suffered heavy losses, he would definitely not sit still. Exotic Cat King had suffered a few losses before, so he became very cautious and would not easily attack. They had to wait for all the Cat Ear people's cultivation to regress so that they could go to the Divine Desolate. Only then would he mobilize the strongest Cat Ear people to attack. This way they would be absolutely safe. If this was the case, Qin Yun would face great pressure. Therefore, he had to think of a way to disrupt the Exotic Cat King's cautious plan and lure him to attack ahead of time. In addition, Qin Yun had to prepare for the Scorpio Kingdom's attack. If they didn't come, wouldn't his preparations be in vain? Qin Yun ordered to speed up the production of cannons and shells. He was worried that the Divine Inscription Mountain was not strong enough, so he added 500,000 genes of Divine Universe Heavenly Bones to the lake. Then he contacted the Nine Dragon Kingdom and asked them to provide more high-quality materials to the lake for the Divine Inscription Mountain to devour. The Divine Inscription Mountain was used to deal with the Scorpio Kingdom. If it was strong enough, he only needed to use the Divine Inscription Mountain. The Nine Dragon Kingdom could provide a large number of materials to Qin Yun. Qin Yun knew that the Nine Dragon Kingdom did not lack Divine Universe Goldstones. If he wanted to repay them in the future, he could only use the Awakening Talisman. The Awakening Talisman could greatly increase the overall strength of the Nine Dragon Kingdom. Of course, Qin Yun did not plan to make a large number of Awakening Talismans in the future because it would require too many. He planned to make an awakening tool for the people of the Nine Dragon Kingdom. It was like a huge altar. As long as they sent people inside, they would place the Divine Universe Goldstone inside and activate the runes inside. They would be able to obtain the Bloodline Heavenly Rune. Qin Yun only brought 500 God King warriors with him. He left 500 God King warriors to guard the few treasure lands. There were teleportation formations between the treasure lands, so they could quickly provide support. From Luo Yaya's information, the Scorpio Kingdom and the Crown Prince of Great Luo were stationed outside the Nine Sun Sacred Land. According to Luo Yaya's information, the Scorpio Kingdom and the Crown Prince of Great Luo Kingdom were working together to do something important. Qin Yun guessed that there had to be something outside the Nine Suns sacred ground that was worth the Crown Prince of Zenith Luo and the Scorpio Kingdom's army. Luo Yaya did not tell Qin Yun about this. She only let Qin Yun know that the Scorpio Kingdom will not attack the Golden Claw treasure land in the near future. Qin Yun is not stupid. He can tell with a glance that the Scorpio Kingdom must have been delayed by something even more important. That's why they didn't attack the Golden Claw treasure land. Inside the Heavenly Leaping Shuttle, Qin Yun began formulating his battle plan. Boss, yeah, brother Ba, you'll need to participate in the battle as well. I can protect myself, Qin Yun said. This is a sneak attack. We don't want to annihilate the enemy. Our main goal is to attack the core of their army and harass them crazily. Qin Zhong and his two brothers were all in the lake, and without them, there wouldn't be enough powerful main forces. Xie Wufeng and Ba Taiying are very strong, and their main task is to protect Qin Yun. With them fighting, it will be even easier. Xiaoba, little monkey, don't keep fighting, capture the enemy's general and retreat. Qin Yun said, don't fight for too long. Master, don't worry, we will listen to you this time. Although Su Xiaoba is normally very domineering, he is very obedient in front of Qin Yun. After all, Qin Yun is his master. Moreover, Qin Yun made him so strong, he naturally has to give his master some face. There is no need to talk about Monkey King. When needed, he can suppress his manic evil nature. Pippi Pig did not come with Qin Yun. He stayed behind to guard the Golden Claw treasure land. Pippi Pig's battle power is not very strong, but his other aspects are very dreadful. He has very strong defense. Late at night, the Heavenly Leaping Shuttle arrived near a secret military camp of the Scorpio Kingdom. Qin Yun did not immediately attack. Instead, he went to investigate the situation. He gave Xie Wufeng some invisibility talismans and asked him to investigate the situation in the barracks and test the overall defenses of the barrack. Not long after, Xie Wufeng returned. They are all people who once surpassed the divine space realm. But their strength is very ordinary, they can't even compare to Divine King warriors. Xie Wufeng said in grave tone. Divine King warriors who obtained 5th generation Bloodline Heavenly Rune, coupled with their equipment, are very strong. How many people do they have in total? Qin Yun asked. 30,000 in total. Their vigilance is very low. We can attack, Xie Wufeng said. Directly take care of their general. You guys go together and capture their general as much as possible, Qin Yun said. Xie Wufeng and others are as strong as the Tyrant Dragon warriors. Moreover, they all have Bloodline Heavenly Rune Flame. It is very effective against the Scorpio people. Late at night, Xie Wufeng, Monkey King, Ba Taiying and Su Xiaoba used invisibility talismans to sneak into the military camp and arrived outside the largest tent. From outside, they can clearly sense the strength of the Scorpio people inside. They should be the strongest in this military camp. Xie Wufeng and Ba Taiying used mysterious penetration divine ability talisman and smoothly rushed inside. The tent is very luxurious. There is a very large Scorpio person inside. This Scorpio person is very vigilant. He immediately sensed people coming in and let out a roar that shook the entire military camp. At this time, Monkey King and Su Xiaoba rushed inside. Xie Wufeng and Ba Taiying have already attacked. Monkey King and Su Xiaoba rushed inside and immediately attacked. Four people surrounded the general. Qin Yun is on the heaven-leaping shuttle. He can see that Xie Wufeng and others have joined hands to heavily injure the general with great difficulty. He cannot help but feel greatly alarmed. This general is much stronger than he imagined. He thought that if Xie Wufeng and others joined hands, they would be able to capture the general in an instant. Fortunately, Ba Taing and others are very strong. Moreover, they have bloodline heavenly rune flame that can restrain the Scorpio people. They quickly injured the general and sealed him inside a storage divine tool. After capturing the general, other Scorpio soldiers crazily rushed over. Su Xiaoba and Monkey King crazily attacked all around them. Their tyrannical divine cosmos power erupted in a flash, shaking heaven and earth, and sent the Scorpio soldiers rushing over flying. Go! Xie Wufeng shouted. Su Xiaoba did not continue to fight. He immediately retreated. Qin Yun controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle and flew over to pick them up. Then he shouted loudly, "Scorpio Kingdom, this is the result of provoking me, Qin Yun. Just wait, the good show is yet to come. Prepare to receive my revenge." The heaven-leaping shuttle flew away in a flash, causing the Scorpio soldiers below to be incomparably shocked. Naturally, they know who Qin Yun is. He is the one who killed 300 of their elite soldiers. Moreover, he also stole their 3 treasure lands and killed a large number of their Scorpio people. Now he actually rushed into their military camp and captured their general. This is provoking their Scorpio kingdom again and again. It is equivalent to ruthlessly stepping on their Scorpio kingdom's face. Chapter 3142. Although Scorpio Kingdom's army is cooperating with Daluo Crown Prince, this is a very confidential matter. Other kingdoms don't know about it. Otherwise, other kingdoms wouldn't dare to send spies to spy on Scorpio Kingdom's army. Even if it is a secret operation, it was still discovered by the spies of other kingdoms. It is a very normal thing for kingdoms to spy on each other. Therefore, the news of Scorpio Kingdom's army camp being attacked by Qin Yun and their general being captured quickly spread to the ears of the kings of other kingdoms. Qin Yun's actions in Divine Desolate are very important to the kings. Especially the information about Qin Yun's war with other kingdoms, they must immediately report it to the kings. Princess Luo Shu should be the first to know. Moreover, it was Luo Yaya who told her. "Yaya, didn't you tell Qin Yun that Scorpio Kingdom's army won't attack Golden Claw Treasure Land?" Princess Luo Shu was very surprised when she heard the news. "I told him about it, and I told him very clearly that the troops of the Scorpio Kingdom are very far away from the Golden Claw Treasure Land, and their recent movements will not target the Golden Claw Treasure Land." Luo Yaya cursed in a low voice. Who knew that he would take the initiative to provoke the Scorpio Kingdom? Qin Yun knows that Scorpio Kingdom won't retaliate in the near future, but he still took the initiative to provoke them. It seems like he wants Scorpio Kingdom to attack Golden Claw Treasure Land. Princess Luo Shu said, "Golden Claw Treasure Land must be prepared to defend against the attack of Scorpio soldiers. Qin Yun has already arranged everything and is just waiting for the Scorpio people to jump in." Then Qin Yun won't fight against Exotic Cat Kingdom? Exotic Cat King's fleet is also very scary, Luo Yaya said in surprise. Qin Yun must have something to rely on, so he is not afraid of Exotic Cat King's fleet. Princess Luo Shu said, "Let's just wait and see. Pay attention to the Crown Prince's movements." "Yes." Luo Yaya nodded. Exotic Cat King is still in the deep space. He learned through the magic mirror that a general of Scorpio Kingdom was captured. He is also very surprised. That general is not weak. He is very famous in Scorpio Kingdom. I didn't expect that after his cultivation fell to Divine Space Realm, he would be so weak that he was captured by Qin Yun. The one who spoke is Exotic Cat King's general. This army of the Scorpions is not weak. Every one of their warriors once surpassed the Divine Space Realm, but they still failed to protect their general, which means that Qin Yun's most powerful force is at the top of the divine space realm. Strange Cat King said with grave expression. Qin Yun is getting stronger and stronger. He is even stronger than when we attacked Peacock Treasure Land last time. Your Majesty, Qin Yun has repeatedly provoked the Scorpio Kingdom. This is a good thing. Let's see how long the Scorpio Kingdom can endure. The general said with a smile. Once the Scorpio Kingdom attacks the Golden Claw Treasured Land and both sides suffer, it will be very advantageous for us. Cat King narrowed his eyes as if he was thinking about something. The Scorpio people are even crazier than us, and their temper is even worse than ours. Their revenge doesn't last overnight. However, when they attacked the Golden Claw Treasured Land, they suffered a crushing defeat and even lost face, yet they didn't attack the Golden Claw Treasured Land again. Don't you think that there's something fishy about this? Your Majesty is wise, please dispel my doubts. The general said. Obviously, there is something more important that forced the Scorpio people to give up attacking the Golden Claw Treasured Land. It is most likely related to the Crown Prince of Daluo. If that's the case, then Qin Yun must know about it. That's why he deliberately provoked the Scorpio people and forced them to attack the Golden Claw Treasured Land. The general thought carefully and said with a frown, Qin Yun set up a trap for the Scorpio people to jump into. The question is, why is Qin Yun so familiar with the Scorpio people's actions? Cat King is very puzzled. Meng Kai. Your Majesty, there must be some Scorpio people who have been captured, just like that bastard Meng Kai. The general said, it seems like Qin Yun is well prepared. If he wants to fight the Scorpio people head-on, can his Golden Claw Treasured Land really block it? Cat King said with a sneer. Even if it can block it, the Golden Claw Treasured Land will be ruined. He has no choice but to give up the Golden Claw Treasured Land. He now has several treasured lands in his hands, so he is not afraid of losing the Golden Claw Treasured Land. Your Majesty, does the Crown Prince of Daluo look down on our Cat Kingdom? Why didn't he call us for a secret operation? The general is somewhat unhappy. That should be a secret. The more people involved, the harder it is to keep it a secret. Crown Prince of Daluo can do whatever he wants. Anyway, we don't need to rely on Daluo Empire in Divine Desolate, we can be completely independent, Cat King said with a smile. In Divine Desolate, everyone's cultivation is the same. And Daluo Empire has a few other empires to keep us in check. They will definitely not suppress us. The general laughed and said, we finally got rid of the evil hands of Daluo Empire. As long as we develop in Divine Desolate, we might be able to establish our own empire in the future. Cat King is also ambitious. He has been toyed with by Daluo Empire for too long. Now that the middle and upper echelons have been suppressed back to the divine space realm, the gap between them will not be too big, so there is nothing to be afraid of. Qin Yun captured a general of Scorpio Kingdom. He was released from the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. At first, he was very stubborn and refused to say anything, but after being tortured by Qin Yun, he finally knelt down. What kind of operation did Crown Prince of Daluo Empire ask you to participate in? Qin Yun asked. I can't say. There is a sole contract. I can only tell you that this operation is very important to Daluo Crown Prince. That is why we delayed the attack on Golden Claw Treasure Land. Qin Yun took out the Spirit Creation Heavenly Cauldron and placed it on the general's head. He sucked out his soul and then used the Spirit Creation Heavenly Cauldron to erase the soul contract. You can speak now, Qin Yun said. The general is shocked. This kind of powerful soul contract was easily erased by Qin Yun just like that. Daluo Crown Prince discovered something deep underground. He did not tell us what it is, but my guess is that it has something to do with Taisher factions. The general said. Something to do with Taisher factions? Qin Yun did not expect that there would be such a thing deep underground in Divine Desolate. Because Divine Desolate was formed later, it cannot be considered as a land that existed during the ancient era. If there really is something related to Taisher factions, it means that Divine Desolate is hiding a very shocking secret. When Divine Desolate was formed, this was originally Divine Desolate land. At that time, it absorbed a lot of land and fused together to form it. There is a Taisher faction behind the Crown Prince. We are guessing that the Taisher faction told the Crown Prince to look for it. The general said, "The Crown Prince wants us Scorpio people to go to the front and scout." You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.